Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. La P family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. If you are in the Central Eastern Time Zone, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network, the greatest network on YouTube. Thank you for coming through. I know that y'all, today's like a Monday. Man, I've been working. People getting on my nerves at work. This morning, I always take a break to do this good show. That's one of the good perks of working from home. Get a little bit of autonomy in those areas. So, always thankful for that. But I might be doing some work here once we get the panel started because it's one hell of a Monday-ish Tuesday, if you know what I mean. And that's just because we had a holiday yesterday. Shout out to everybody that did their Labor Day goings on. If you had anything going on for Labor Day, if you had fun, if you got to relax, look, man, I got to take time to tell y'all got to relax, man. You got to relax. I have not been sleeping well myself. My wife has not been sleeping well. She woke me up this morning because she wasn't sleeping well. I don't know who she thinks I am. When I see 3 something on the, no, 3 something, if you wake up at 3 anything, good for you. I know people love to act like go-getters get no sleep. I do not subscribe to that at all. At all. In fact, I'm 100% trying to be in control of my own life, which means I can control when I wake up and go back to sleep. Now, naturally, I can't sleep past 6. That's the latest. Naturally, because my kids got to get ready for school. My wife is already going to work, so I get my kids up, get them ready for school, have the boy to school by 6:45, 6:50 since he's close, then take my daughter to the charter school by 7:20. It's all good. It's nothing. That's how we do it as parents. And there's never going to be a school bus ever. So that's totally broken down. Can't even trust the school bus system. And then when my son joins my daughter at the charter school next year, there is no school bus. So I'm gonna be daddy taxi for life. Till they both turn 18 years old, or at least 16, and one of them can drive them to school. All right, but either way, man, yeah, I encourage you to get your rest up. I hope everybody had a good Labor Day. Hope some of y'all grilled out. I don't know what we ate yesterday. Everybody woke up with their stomach hurting, but either way, we good out here. We good out here. Y'all already going off in the chat. I didn't even know there was this many chat messages. I thought we were cooling today. I thought today was gonna be a little steam let down from yesterday. Damn, y'all already starting. It's crazy. I see Trigger Trey already in the. No, you know what? That wasn't even Trigger Trey. This is Toxic Trey. The month of September, he must be a Virgo or something. This is Toxic Trey that we got this month. All right, but salute to everybody that came through. Salute to all our viewers nationwide and international. If you are watching from overseas, you are welcome. Our overseas audience has grown, and we thank you. And we will be expanding out, more shows for you to get more reach out there for y'all. We know you love the Lapeef Network, and we thank you for your patronage as always. All right, shout out to everybody in Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all those areas. The Middle East that watch this show from Dubai. All right. Ireland, Scotland. All right. Thank you so much. And all my people stateside, what's going on? Thank y'all for coming through. Thank you for chopping it up with me. We got another one. This is Brickgate Part 2. Y'all ready to talk about Brickgate Part 2? But before we do that, like the video. If you are coming in to this stream and you have not liked this video, you're not cool with me right now. Go ahead and like the video. We got 42 likes, 72 people watching. I need that up to 60 right now. Go ahead and pick up your phone or tap on your computer, wherever you at. If you got your headphones on at work, look at that like button. Give it a nice little smash. I appreciate that. And if you have not subscribed, I know some people love to skip past that button and you love to just act like you come in when you come in. But show your support to this great network by hitting that subscribe button. And if you want to show increased support, go ahead and subscribe to the Lapeef Network. All right, join that green gang so you get to use those fire emojis. You get personalized videos that nobody else gets to see, members only videos. All right, dope content for you. And I know some of y'all love the content of this channel, but you also want to support. So go ahead and make sure you join the green gang and get that popping as well. We appreciate you for that. All right. Once again, as always, Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley. 30% off along with a free gift. The link is down in the description. Go ahead and click that link and get you some uncomplicated skincare for men. Got my skin glowing again. I just washed my face again before the show. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. All right. Support the show. Support the Trigger Mike Show. Please do so. All right. I watch y'all on all these other programs, and I know my program fire, and I know y'all like my program, but y'all think I'm already rich. That's why you don't want to support me. Y'all better smash that super chat button and support your boy Trigger Mike. All right. I got new equipment I'm trying to buy. Okay. And I am an entrepreneur, which means my business is supposed to pay for my equipment. All right. So y'all, my community, if you enjoy the Trigger Mike Show, send me a super chat every once in a while. Show me some love. I'd appreciate that. I love every single person in the chat, and I thank y'all for always contributing. The chat is always live on the Trigger Mike Show. If you have never been in this chat or gotten to participate, please do so. It is always live. And I not only have a dope and toxic chat, I have an intelligent chat. I'm always trying to get, at the very least, I don't hate a contrary opinion. Did we not see the biggest contrarian we've ever seen on the Trigger Mike Show yesterday? I actually enjoyed it. It was refreshing for me. Okay. I do not want to sit in an echo chamber all day. I want to know what's on the mind of other people, not even just black people. I want to know what's on the mind of other people. I don't know why we are so afraid of that in these spaces. We want to condemn everybody that comes through with a contrary opinion. I want to hear it all. If you got a white wife, an Asian wife, two Asian side kid, I want to hear it all. We need to know what's going on in the community, what people are thinking, what their life circumstances are. It makes us a diverse population of people that watch this show. All right, dude went off on y'all ass. I ain't gonna lie, he went off on a couple of y'all because y'all kind of hit him with some ad hominem attacks, but you ain't attacked his point all the way. I don't know, man. Y'all didn't attack some of his points. I know he was trying to be toxic with the white woman stuff for a little bit, but then he started hitting y'all with some facts. I couldn't deny it. Y'all couldn't deny it. I couldn't deny it. So, hey man, NBA. Forgot what that shit stand for. What does it stand for? Chat, help me out. Atheist. That's all I remember. Mad Black Atheist. That's what it is. Mad Black Atheist. You are always welcome on the Trigger Mike Show, my brother. And if you can trigger Trey, whenever you want to trigger Trey, when he's up here, please do so. Okay, Toxic Trey is here for it. He's not always like that. He just chose this month to just completely be toxic, but he does that from time to time. Please excuse our panelists. All right. Damn. Work. Give me 1 second. Not sure yet. I'll let you know. Oh, got it. All right. All right, y'all. Let's get into it, man. Go ahead and, if you can, do me a favor, because I'm about to do this live from the show every day. Do me a favor, now that I got all of y'all in here, go ahead and hit that share button and share this out to one media outlet. I'm about to hit the share button right now on YouTube, and I'm going to share this to my Facebook because we talking about this today. Yesterday, we broke a little bit of record. Stream was up. The numbers were up because we were having a dope-ass conversation, and we're going to have a dope-ass conversation again today. So go ahead and hit that share button and just put live now. Check this out. Help your boy Trigger Mike out as we try to scale this show. You know, we're going into the fall. We got a lot of people that want to come join these conversations. They're going back to work heavy. They want to put their earphones in and they want to listen to what's going on in the streets. And we got the scoop. So go ahead and share this out. Help your boy out. I'm trying to be bigger than big. Pause. All right. I'm trying to be the biggest afternoon show on YouTube. All right. I love this little niche. I used to be mornings, but I can't get no work done fast enough to get on in the mornings. This little area, this 12 through 2 to 3 type thing, A-okay with me. I like it. I like it. And then some of y'all be turning up the toxicity so much. I need to detox before dinner before I see the rest of my family out here. Y'all be so toxic up here, goddamn. All right. Who we got in the chat today? So make sure y'all help me out. Share this out to people right now so they can click just one media outlet, whether it's a few friends on Instagram or whether it's your Facebook. Make a Facebook post, share it to your, whatever. What is it even called? Share. Yeah, just create a post on Facebook, sharing it out as opposed to saying live now so people can watch. We got best dancer in town. He said, this chick is crazy. She was looking for trouble. We've decoded that. Dale Matthew, always in the building. What's up? Daryl Brown, what's going on? Jill's Chocolate Boutique, my favorite. Oh, good afternoon, Sugar Curls. How you doing? How are you doing? Big Texan 713. I know where you from. Hey, what you think we about to do, man? I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for to see what Stroud's about to do. I'm nervous, but we'll see, man. We'll see. It's time for us to get some toxicity out of H-Town. We've had a bad 10 years. Even when we were a sure thing with your boy, I'm not even going to say his name, so I triggered some of y'all, where it's like, oh, we going to get to the bowl. Life happened. All right. Of course, Toxic Trey in the building. What's up, bro? Yep, you absolutely right. Wait. More of the story. You got to come up and tell me. Part 2 was necessary, though, because we're going to decode some things. I've digested what everybody was saying on every other panel. I watched some of Fatty's show yesterday. I think I caught some toxicity on JP's show yesterday to see what people had to say. So this is one that requires a little bit more digestion. Now that we've had time to see the facts, see what type of person she is, develop our own self-perception, I think people will either have the same view or changing views. I have the same view, but what about y'all? Let me know. The League Commission says, all of you simps just believe black women got to see the truth. Oh, that just believe black women. You ain't lying. MS Best. First off, who blindly believes anybody? Simps. Never mind. Simps do. And ladies, this is our problem with simps, because it's not like we're out here trying to call you liars. And I'm going to try to drive this point home, because it's not that we don't like simps because they simply agree with you. We don't like simps because they prove. We don't like simps because of what they're actually doing it for. They are exactly what you don't like in men, disguising themselves and making you think that they're your ally. That's what we don't like about simps. If there was no advantage in it, if they did not get to be around you, hang around you, or have the possibility of getting some ass, they would not jump on your side for any of your goddamn causes. Let me tell you what nature dictates. Men do not advocate for women against other men. That's not natural. So you, as a thinking and feeling woman, need to ask yourself, why is this man siding with me like this? Because if he had a problem with something a man said, he would go deal with the man. Men don't jump. I go talk to other men about anything. If a man got a problem with a woman, I don't jump on a woman's side to yell at the man. I jump in the man's face. That's how men handle problems. So if he's jumping behind you to yell at me, he's back there trying to grab your ass while you yelling. Y'all better get out of y'all self-delusion. This is crazy. That's why we don't like simps. Did I explain that okay? I don't know. I might have been rambling. I tend to do that from time to time. Please forgive me. But RP Tipsy Nomad, what's up, my brother? Big Ant, my man, what's going on? What's going on, the Seds? Good afternoon. Robert Williams, my man, what's going on? Thank you for coming through. C Miles in the building. Demetrius, what's up? All right, man. We in here. We in here heavy, for real, for real. Richarda, how you doing? He made it seem like the black woman was the reason for his problems instead of just acknowledging that he manned up in life. What are we talking about? I don't know. I hope we ain't talking about me. I hope that wasn't me. 2 corrections updated. Okay, great. I ain't got to do shit. I'm taking a break. It's my lunch break. They can kiss my ass. All right. Let me not say that. All right. Pre says, I watched some of yesterday and there was some great stuff. The question is whether women, irrespective of race, are inherently violent and men allow them to be. Ooh. We are. Let me answer that question for you, bro. We are inherently mischievous. I'm gonna use the word mischievous because that's actually we're by nature we are naturally mischievous, but women even more so. If you look at every structure, every police department, everything that represents order and discipline was created by a man. This is just a fact. That means men recognize the need for civility. The very reason that you have the space to walk freely on the street and talk shit to us and slap white dudes like that chick that got hit with the brick did in the video, the very reason you think you have license to do so is because men allowed it. Men allowed all of this freedom because they allowed civility, monogamy. We created all of that shit. So just imagine that men have more of a propensity to want to take positive control of society to create civility amongst individuals. Of course, condemn the hate, condemn the racism, condemn that. We're all human. That shit's going to happen. But still, we commune in civility most of the time. You wouldn't be able to go to work or drive. Everybody would just jump out the car and spear one another if there wasn't civility most of the time. Men created all of that. So what do you think happens when you remove the men or you remove the doctrine of the man and allow women to run free? It's going to be nothing but mischief. They are inherently mischievous, more so than men are. Uncomfortable Conversations. I love the name. I love the name. I love the name. What up? What up? Hold on. Let me see. Is this my home? Is this my H-Town homie? Let me know. We talked about creating a show called Uncomfortable Conversations, didn't we? I don't know if that's my homie from Vaughn's homie. We used to go watch fights and stuff together. Oh, snap. Demetria says she ain't get hit by no brick. You smell lies. Damn, is Brickgate for real? We want to see the brick? We want to see the brick? That's crazy. All right, let me get into my monologue so I can get some people up here. I'm going to drop the link. Y'all just stay in the back until I'm done with this monologue because I want to unpack what we went through or what we went over yesterday and what I comprehended from the conversation that we had. I love the fact that we had a contrarian on the panel, spoke his mind. I love the fact, okay, Uncomfortable's from Atlanta. But salute to you, brother. Salute to you. I like the fact that we had a contrary opinion. I like the fact that we had women that were brave enough and come up and speak on the topic. All right. So I love that. Absolutely. I love it because we get to drill down on really what's happening with the people. So after yesterday, I got to tell y'all my opinion has not changed. Has not changed. Not really. And let me tell you what I take away from yesterday's convo. Part 1 of the lady getting hit in the face with a brick. Men do not have an overarching responsibility to protect all women. We don't. When we really think about it, that's simp talk. That's simp talk. Protect all women. Believe all women. These are feminist talking points, radical feminist talking points. But I have real statements to make on this. All women don't deserve our protection. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I'm going to say this not as a measure to trigger you, to prepare you and get you ready for the real life. You've been sold delusion. You've been sold a lie. All women don't deserve our protection, nor will you ever get it. You won't get it. Women feel entitled to our protection without providing us anything in return. Does that sound crazy? It sounds crazy to me. I hope it sounds just as crazy to you. It sounds crazy to me. All right? Just as crazy to me. Another thing that I read from our conversation yesterday is that women want us to participate in their self-delusion. In fact, in order to continue their radical feminist agenda, they need us to participate in their self-delusion. Because what women are saying, and we better take time as men. Let me talk to the men for a second. You need to be smarter. You need to read between the lines. You need to figure out what women are actually saying without saying it. Because they're doing all of this shit in our face. What do you call it? Playing in your face? They're playing in your face. They want us to participate in their self-delusion. Here's why. They are making a world where their behavior doesn't matter. Have y'all noticed that? Because I'm noticing it now. No longer is there a behavioral standard for anything when it comes to women. No longer do even educated women that come from good homes and had a good upbringing want to set or hold themselves to a standard of behavior to receive certain things. So let me get this straight. Now I'm talking to the ladies. Let me get this straight. You don't want to submit to most men. You don't want to cooperate with most men. But you want us to protect you? Bad deal. Bad deal. Sorry. As you have done in this society, I'm exercising my right to say no. Do we not still have that right? Is this not America? You propose to me a world where you get to do whatever the hell you want and still get my attention, my provision, my protection, and get to leave me and take half my shit. You're proposing that to me, and the overwhelming majority of American men are now saying, no, bad deal. Sorry. Let me tell you something, ladies, for real. Check this out. You expect us, this is something that I took from the conversation yesterday. You expect us to make the world safe for you by controlling all the bandits of society. Let me tell you something, and I'm getting close to the camera to tell you this. I can't even make the world safe for me, my wife, and my children. How the hell am I going to make the world safe for you? I can't make it safe for me. I like me more than you. I like my body. I like breathing in this body more than I like you. I can't make the world safe for me to live in. A man who can go knock niggas out at will. 6 foot, 260. Nobody's trying me out these streets. I don't see random niggas that look like me that's not messing with nobody get ran up on and knocked out. And I can't even make the world safe for me. I can't even impose my will on the world like that. So I got to stay vigilant and keep my head on a swivel so I don't get got. But you expect me to make the world safe for you? Explain that logic to me, please. Explain that logic to me. My man Trey says he was a cop and I couldn't even make it any more safe than what it is. He was just trying to hold people accountable in the streets for what they had already done. All I can do is secure these four walls that I got. All I can do is entrust and look at the plans for escape at the school and look at the distance between me and my kid's school, my boy's school over here, the distance between me and my girl's school over there, just in case some of these cops don't want to go in time. I'm busting through that damn door. I can only secure these four walls. Stay in close proximity to me. As long as I have breath in my body, I will protect my family. That's all I got control over. But you want me to control the bandits of society for your safety? I don't even like you like that. Today's women, the disrespectful ass women talking shit about niggas that look like me, saying I'm broken, I ain't got no money. You expect me to make the world safe for you? I would rather make the world safe for an ant. I would rather go save the bees. I would rather go save fucking duck-billed platypus. You talk shit to me on YouTube and men that look like me all day on Instagram, on comments, but you want me to make the world safe for you. Please tell me how that logic adds up. We are saying no. Now let's talk about, real quick before I bring up everybody, I'm going to drop that link again. Let's talk about how we can actually protect our women, the women closest to us, and the women that we feel like we have a duty to protect. Because I don't want to just I don't want to just yell at you. How can we actually protect our women? Because I have a wife and daughter. Those are my women. I have an absolute duty and responsibility to protect. I will put holes in your body over those two women. Make no mistake. But I cannot protect what I cannot control. Shout out to Minister Louis Farrakhan. I cannot protect what I cannot control. If you don't want to listen to me, stay glued to my hip. Move when I say move. Take the kids to the car when I say so. Drive off when I say so. Don't worry about me. I'm going to handle this. Take the attention off of them. Go. Leave. If you don't want to do that when I say so, I can't protect you. Our women, in order to get protection from us, you got to listen to what the fuck we say. Sorry. Let me give you an example. And this is a historical example. Okay? Unfortunately, no man in history has ever accomplished a way to allow unlimited freedom and adequate security. Those two things don't go hand in hand. I cannot provide you unlimited freedom and adequate security. I'm going to need to restrict your access somewhere. That is a fact. When you promote freedom in all things, you put yourself at risk for all things. If you want to be on the street the same time as the street walkers, you put yourself at risk for everything that comes with them. I cannot impose myself on the world to change the rules for you. Let me bring the brethren up. What up? What's going on, man? Happy start of the work week.
What's up?
How did I know it'd be you two first? This is interesting. All right. What's going on, though? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Feels like a Monday, though. All right. So let's get into it, man. Opening thoughts, but I do got a question. We'll start off with that. Do women want us to participate in their self-delusion? just about the world in general?
Yes,
Go ahead, explain.
it's simple. It's do as I say, but not as I do. They want to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and the only time we're allowed to have input is in situations like the brick incident. Uh, you in the street twerking, slapping dudes in the face, all this, and you don't want nobody saying nothing. But as soon as you get some retaliation, you put the camera on all these dudes minding their own business. Oh, didn't none of these dudes help me? Well, hey, you wanted equality, you wanted all this crap that you holler for in feminism. Now you got it. You want equal rights, you get equal lefts. That's the way it goes. I don't know what the complaint is about. I saw the video. She was out there acting a fool, turned out, acting dumb, and she got what she signed up for. You know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's just that simple. We can't keep rewarding this behavior by jumping to the rescue of these crazy women. It's just like I said in my opening yesterday. Black women are violent, and y'all got to see that in that video. They are violent. That's one of the first things they do is put hands on a man. And everybody got mad at me for saying it at the start of the stream yesterday. As soon as I said it, people started being upset with me. But you got to see once again another instance of a black woman putting her hands on somebody. And this time she just got a little bit of payback when somebody retaliated against her. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. We all know they violent. I grew up with a mom that she would hit you with whatever was close to her if you made her mad. I'm going to whoop your butt. It's a belt, a switch, a flip flop, a broom, a mop handle, whatever she could get her hands on. My sisters are the same way. Most black women I know in my neighborhood, the same way. We grew up in a neighborhood where if my mom was at work, the next door neighbor could give me a butt whooping. That's the kind of neighborhood we grew up in. And it was all black women. There were no dudes around. So we all know what's going on here. I was right from the jump when I said they're violent. The statistics don't lie. Black men are being assaulted at almost twice the rate they used to be assaulted because black women never used to put their hands on black men the way they do now. It was happening, but not at the levels it's happening now. It's done went crazy now because they all city girls now. They all got money. They doing their OnlyFans, so now they feel like, well, basically we all just punks to them. And I blame mostly the black men. I don't even really blame the women. Black men today, because we've been raised up in a community where women run everything, we've been taught to respect our black queens and all this crap. And the only queen is the one that was over in England. But we got to respect our black queens, kiss their ass, protect them at all costs. We've been told all of that. Every black man within the sound of my voice has been told to protect black women at all costs. And look at what we got in return for it. You broke, you lame, you fat, you ugly, you got a little dick, you this, you that. That's what we get for that's the return on our investment into black women. And like I said yesterday, if you like it, I love it. If you enjoy that kind of treatment, I love it for you. Enjoy it because life's gonna suck for you in the long term. And that's it.
All right. Trey, look like he's about to just be toxic. Go ahead, Trey.
I mean, ultimately, I don't necessarily disagree with him. I think he has an absolute mentality, which is fine. He's entitled to that. I don't believe that it's all black women. I don't think he means all black women. I think he's just speaking in generalities. But I don't think that even in a generality, I don't think it's majority of black women. I grew up in D.C. I grew up in the hood. I've been around black women my entire life. The neighborhood that I policed was black women, and you get some good apples, you get some bad apples. It is what it is. I will say this, though, and this is where I do agree with him. The women are empowered because the men are weak. And because the men are weak, women are acting more and more masculine by the day. I have dealt with women who were physically abusive. And I have had to have a conversation with a woman that I was in a relationship with and tell her, listen, the next time you put your hands on me, I'm going to knock you the hell out. Don't do it. It's not your place. Now, I've restrained myself because I know that I can actually hurt you because I've hurt men, grown men. So I know that I can actually hurt you. But this idea that you can put your hands on me and there will be no consequences or no repercussions, those days are over. So to a degree, I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't necessarily disagree with him because I've seen it. I've been on scenes where the woman is instigating. I've said this before. Majority of the DVs that we got, the woman agitated and started it. She started it in some degree. And she was the one that was arrested. But we still have black men who would say, well, take me instead. Just take me. Because somebody going to jail, so just take me. Even though we can clearly identify that she's the one. Black men, you are not required to protect anybody that is not under your authority. Nobody. If she's not under your authority, she is not under your protection. My message to black women is very simple. If you want to be protected out here in these streets with these crazies, I suggest you go find a man. And do it quickly. Because the world is only getting crazier. That's all I got.
Facts.
I agree with him.
Yeah, listen, there's no lies told already. So I would just say, just in this whole incident, it's becoming much more evident. And I'm one of those kind of guys. I don't like to create this whole blanket. But in this echo chamber that we call social media, the women are definitely the way, a lot of them are definitely the way AKA atheist is talking about. So and I think it's becoming apparent to all women. That's why they're kind of trying to up their shaming tactics, that men in general ain't taking this shit no more. Men are just starting to say, you know what? Not only just walking away, they're understanding, that they've made a big, grave mistake, and it's starting to catch up with them. There was a brother has a podcast. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to do that, but he was telling a story about a girl that he fell in love with when he was 22 years old. And he asked her to marry him. He wanted to make it serious. But she said, I can't marry you. Suppose I just wanted to go to a bar, take my shirt off and dance on the table. And so he says, okay, I can't have that. So they broke up. She sends him a Christmas card. It's 25 years later. And she has a Christmas tree behind her. She's with a dog in matching pajamas and a cat in matching pajamas, all by herself. All by herself. Now, she didn't want to convey that message, but the message he was sending everybody else is that she had an opportunity, because this brother's well off. She had an opportunity for a man who loved her, and she's by herself. And he said she was beautiful. With a dog and a cat in matching pajamas by herself under a Christmas tree. And it's going to happen to a lot more women like that.
Do you know what? Hold up. Do you know what those Christmas cards have turned into? Instagram DMs. Hey, big head. Hold on. This is the one I like. I love this one. Your family is so beautiful. Because you think it's supposed to be your family. That's why. It's not what they say. I know y'all like, all right, that's a little extreme. It's who's saying it. So if you got an ex or an old flame, you be like, girl, get out of here. This is you saying more than my family is beautiful. But all right, my man Israel, what's going on?
Yo, what's good? What's good? Trigger Mike, what's good? Everybody on the panel,
bro.
how y'all doing, man?
What's going on?
Yo, I'm glad be able to come over here and kick it with you. Man. It's been a minute, man. You know what I'm saying?
It has been a minute. For real.
Yo, thank you for having me. Hey, my brother is wearing my favorite team, the Steelers, at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I think he is a little bit extreme with his message. I could understand where he's coming from. At the same time, I think that
his name is Mad Black Atheist.
Okay. That explains it all. Okay.
My
bad.
He's going to be a little extreme.
Okay, I haven't been here in a minute.
Most people just call me MBA for short to make it
all right,
easy.
NBA. Okay, so that's already understood. I don't even have to go there. So earlier, I said this, and this is what I really truly believe. The standard on men is an unrealistic standard. This notion that because men are supposed to be leaders, they're supposed to cover every woman that exists is asinine at best. God himself was not responsible for the actions of his creation. You know what I'm saying? We have to take our own accountability and our own responsibility for our own actions. So how do these people have the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to try to believe that all men are responsible for the actions and the the deeds of all women. Listen, you have to have personal accountability and personal responsibility for the things that you do. Now, do I think the woman should be hit upside the head with a brick? Absolutely not. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's okay. Now, with that being said, like we saw with Brittany Renner, or like with this lady with the brick, should you have accountability and responsibility for your actions? Absolutely. Because like Trigger Mike said in the beginning, men are not going. They're not just going to be blanketly just jumping in there, jumping in your business just because you look like you're in distress. So, ladies, please start taking accountability and responsibility for your actions so you don't find yourself in these type of predicaments.
Okay, just real quick. I'm in a dentist office. So I'm getting ready to go back, but I just one quick thing to say, because I was watching the show yesterday, and I know it went off the rails here and there. But what I wanted to say, can y'all hear me real quick? Real good?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was that this act of violence, right? We were talking about this when the woman got hit in that other chicken place, or whatever, right? And so I think what the similarity is that it's symbolism. For me, it's symbolism. These acts of violence is symbolism as to where we've gone to, as far as how out of control this or how women have become out of control. When you display so much masculinity, that violence is the actual return on your investment and your behavior, and nobody can tell anything. Like, if you act like a man, you're gonna get a man's result, which is a punch to the face, right? We already inherently know that we can't just move any way we feel like it and say anything we want to any man. So you, as a woman being of the weaker sex, what makes you think that you can say and do anything you want to, and that you're going to be afforded protection of men, or that you suffer no consequences, physical or otherwise? So the problem is, 100 years ago, we weren't dealing with so much violence because women knew how to act and behave. And in any circumstantial or any environment, when a woman is being, when she has mannerisms of yes, sir, no, sir, please, and thank you, those women are afforded the highest protection in any environment by any man in any circumstance. We are no longer in that era. We're in an era where a woman is quick to put her hands in someone's face and on somebody. So the outcome and result, the hitting of the brick, the man who hit woman with the brick, none of us condone his behavior, but the problem is you're a woman who's talking in such a way as if you're looking to physically challenge a man in his masculinity, and the result is getting hit in the head with a brick. I think that symbolizes where we are, and it symbolizes where they are. But I'll leave it there. I'm gonna probably listen to y'all if I can while I'm getting my mouth drilled or whatever the hell. Another act of violence that I don't like. Keep it going.
Pause.
Woo.
Lord have mercy, sir.
I'm not touching
pause,
that one.
Pause. Please don't get your mouth drilled, sir. Please. Pause.
Man.
That's some funny shit. Yeah.
All right, man. Allure, thank you for joining us again.
No problem.
Go ahead, talk real quick. Let me see if your connection coming through.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Okay, that's good. Yeah, sorry I had to pop out last night. It was just running too long and I had to go.
No worries. No worries.
Okay, so oh, sorry. Do you want to ask me something? Because
No, I was going to say, yeah, you go ahead, give your general thoughts.
Look, if we're going to talk about like these gender wars online, I think a lot of issues with the Black community probably is coming down to how boys and girls are raised with things that we value, the way that we talk to each other. I think that there are legitimate issues that Black men have, and I've always actually been like, okay, I get the issues that Black men have. I think the problem is that it was 2 years ago, is that the way you guys were delivering the message sometimes wasn't the best. And I think that now it's gone a bit better, because I've tended to notice that the guys are now doing podcasts with like women and voicing their issues with women. And I think that's better, because what was happening 3-4 years ago, it was not productive at all. It just felt like men were just voicing issues, just making rants and rants, but not actually talking substantially to women. So I do feel like there are issues that black men have with women, but there are also the issues that black women have with men. And I think that sometimes both sides try so hard to, the thing I don't like about the word now, accountability, is that not that I don't believe that people shouldn't take accountability, but people will weaponize the word accountability to use it in a way to assert blame on someone. Sometimes I feel like when people use that word, they weaponize it to assert blame. But if we're talking about what real accountability is, I do feel that black men and women both have faults, and there are both issues that I think all of us have contributed to the issues of the community. Both sides should reflect and take genuine accountability and have real productive conversations. But now I feel like it's just turning into one side shouts at the other and everyone just wants to be right in their own way, when we all need self-reflection and just stop shouting at each other and I just want everyone to come together, I don't like these gender wars online. It's just really sad, which is why I want to come in here.
Can I ask a question though, Trigger Mike?
Go ahead.
So help me understand, right? Because I've been around for a while, right? And I know that there was a time for a long time where men, ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a job if you want to be with me. I could do bad all by myself. I don't need no man. And there didn't seem to be, I didn't hear no women speaking up for men at all. And these were decades upon decades upon decades. As a matter of fact, there was one. It was Shahrazad Ali. Shout out to Sister Shahrazad Ali. But she got so much pushback in the early 90s, late 80s, when she came out with that book, that it was ridiculous. But besides her, I didn't hear an abundance of women when there was the Oprah Winfrey's, when there was the Sally Jeffrey Raphaels, the Donahues, that was constantly dogging men out. I didn't hear no pushback. And so it's kind of amazing to me when men are speaking now and saying how they feel, they're not being as stoic or whatever the case may be. Why all of a sudden is it so problematic to hear from men and for men to voice their opinion? I just don't understand that.
Well, I mean,
that wasn't the issue. But that wasn't the issue. Again, the thing is, what people don't realize, I was actually pro the manosphere in the beginning, because I actually said that I feel like guys need to have an ally to discuss the issues. The problem is that it was the way some of these conversations were being had. It was almost, some people, I think to be honest, that some men who were having these YouTube chats and podcasts were doing it in a derogatory way. And the negative stuff always get highlighted, and that's what women were seeing online. It's gotten better now, I think, this year, because there's more willingness to have podcasts and more equal discussions. But in the beginning, about maybe 3-4 years ago, it was just like derogatory stuff being said and not actual productive conversations. And that negative stuff went viral, and that's what women were seeing online. And then women just started to become very vicious in return, and then everything just got more hateful. And so I'm just trying to add more context.
Can I ask a question, if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course.
It's a general question. Anybody can answer it. I just would like to know, why is it okay for women to come into a space that's literally called the manosphere and ask for men to stop talking to and about men, but no one goes to Cynthia G and tell her to stop talking about women's issues? Now, I've never seen a man come and say, hey, Cynthia, you need to prop up men. You've never seen that once, but every show that men do in the manosphere or red pill or whatever, women come on and try to tell men how to discuss male topics. And I don't understand. It's called the manosphere for a reason, because men have never had a space to sit back and say, hey, basically the manosphere is the barbershop online is what it is. It's like a place for us to discuss stuff that we all go through as men. But women have infiltrated. People like Jess Pearly Things and people like that have come in and basically said, hey, we're women, pay attention to us and stop talking about your male problems. And it just don't seem right, because we don't do that to women on their channels. I haven't seen a single man do it yet.
I'm sorry, but the manosphere talks about women. But the manosphere talks about
men
women.
allowed it. I agree with you, Trey. Men allowed it. Yeah, we both agree. Black men have gotten weak.
But the manosphere talks about women.
Steps into a male space, she needs to be booted.
Well, On the
And the
white
men,
side of the manosphere, the white guys, they don't even tolerate this crap.
okay,
They don't put up with it. It's
so
only
then,
the black dudes who put up with it.
so then, like I said
Well,
before,
but she
the
asked the
women,
question.
the women are empowered because the men are weak.
That's right.
So if we have an issue, with our women, it's because we aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. You cannot come into a male space if they should know that if I go over there, I'm going to get booted. I went into some female spaces and got kicked out within the first 5 minutes.
I got banned from a woman's Facebook group because I went in there and all I said was men can't be women, and next thing you know, I was gone. They kicked me.
Listen, Lord, let me just tell you this: you guys don't have the right to tell us how to speak. Doesn't matter.
But if it's about women,
wait a second. You don't have the right to tell men how to express themselves.
That's not the problem.
Wait a minute, it is the point. You said that. Wait a minute. You said a couple of years ago that the men were saying things that were, a little bit harsh or that weren't productive. That's none of your business. That's the way we talk to each other. And the reason why you might be able to take it now is because it ain't going away. And we ain't all a monolith either. Some men are in red pill rage because of what happened to them over the years. So we take that with a grain of salt. Then there's other guys on a higher plane. So you gotta. So I'm gonna land it here, and you can say what you're gonna say. But just like women always try to infiltrate where men are, everywhere. And especially black women. We can't do anything without y'all coming in. And I think it's good that women are up here, like you and other women come up to speak. But
yeah, y'all cool.
You gotta say your own piece. You can't tell us how to talk or how to think or how to do any of that. That needs to be over. That's over.
Okay.
So I'll land it there.
Hey, B-Love, what's going on, B-Love, and about?
So to respond to that is that thing is I don't have a problem with men talking, but thing is the manosphere is it was having a conversation and it was just mainly about women, which is why we had the issue. If guys were just talking about guys, I guarantee you women would not be coming up into these spaces like that. It's because the conversations
yes they would
around women.
Yes, they would.
Yes, they would.
What else are we supposed to be talking about?
Before Kevin Samuel started talking about women, he was talking about men, and his whole comment section was women saying, "You go, Kevin," because he was telling men they need to dress better, they need to get better jobs, and it was full of women agreeing with him. But as soon as he switched and started talking about women, women started hating him.
But even better,
also got bigger.
Look, even better than that, in the women's spaces, all they was talking about was men. Oh, I don't need no man. I could do battle by myself. He got to have a JLB. That's all that was happening.
I don't want no scrub.
Exactly. In that female space that I got kicked out of, she was literally telling a story about how she used to beat her husband who was disabled.
What?
God, dog.
Yep. She was telling a story, and I wrote, my comment was, "I'm about to report you," and then they kicked me out.
I don't know.
Don't you dare get in the way of that woman beating her man. That's not your business.
She's watching too many Tyler Perry movies.
We would get online to just talk about men. Our issues is cleaving to women and trying to have families and trying to grow legacies. We don't do that with men. We do that with women. So what else are we going to talk about? Basketball and shit? What are we talking about?
We do that anyway, right? We do that
all the time.
That's fine. I'm just saying
we're going to be talking about women.
You know what? Let me put it to you like this, Allure. This has always been barbershop talk. We just took it online. So this is not a conversation that was never being had. Y'all just weren't there for it. But online, y'all can just enter the space. So it's not like we just started talking about this.
Can I ask you a question? Do you guys like the way that Cynthia G talks about black men?
Of course not. No. I wish that bitch would sharpen some pencils and fall on them.
I wish she would actually get on a panel like this and say that crap.
No, I can't.
She would never. She would never.
We ain't talking about
never. I would cook her ass like ramen noodles.
Women in utero. We're not
hold on.
I'm making a point.
Cynthia G does not like intelligent men. We are the antithesis of what she can't deal with me. She can't deal with Israel. She can't deal with Trey. She can't deal with NBA. She can't deal with pain. Men like us. No, she got to go to. I'm not even gonna say no names, but she got to go to a simp channel. She got to go to a punk ass nigga channel to get her shit off. She can't come over here with that.
Allure, I'll
Shout
tell
out
you,
to Hank.
Allure, I'll tell you how much I don't like her. I'm not even familiar with her. I don't watch her at all. If I see
Like,
anything
tell her
about
ass
her,
to pull up.
it's in a clip that somebody else put up. I don't go to her channel. I don't follow. I don't do anything with that woman. 'Cause
Neither do
I've heard more than enough from her to never.
I
have
know
to
who
listen to her
she
again.
is, but I've never watched a single one of her videos. I just know her by reputation and the
Personally,
things I've heard. Some of the things that people have told me she said, but I haven't verified it with my own eyes. But I have a Discord server, and the guys in there said, you know, she talks about black men being aborted or being killed at birth and all that kind of crap, and I just don't even.
Yeah,
I don't even click on that stuff.
well,
I got
Cynthia
you, Spark.
G hates black men. I think she's a board for them. I mean, to me, I think she's, in my opinion, I do think she's like a white supremacist.
Hey,
because I
Allure,
them to
I
be
gotta
a board.
stop you where you made. I gotta stop you real quick
Okay.
where you made a mistake. Cynthia G actually doesn't hate black men.
She
I
got
think
a
she
baby
does.
daddy.
So
She got a
y'all
baby
gotta
daddy.
understand, man. Y'all gotta
Doesn't
understand.
she have a black baby
Hate,
daddy?
hold on, exactly. Hold
Two,
on,
I
y'all.
think.
Hold on.
I think at least
We
two.
got to stop this where we see it. To hate someone is not even to let them consume every fiber of your being the way Cynthia G is consumed. Cynthia G has such a love for black men, and she was crossed by one in the worst way.
Or two.
That all you see is her love for black men turned into this fueled rage for one dude. Exactly. For one dude.
Or two.
I have not uttered the nigga that I hate the most in this world. I have not uttered a word about this nigga in 13 years. I don't give a fuck about him. Right? You see what I'm saying? She loves black men. Wasn't she like a black nationalist or some shit?
Yeah.
She was
like that.
she was something like some years ago. Y'all have to start reading between the lines. That lady don't hate black men.
It don't take much for them to get mad at you,
my
though.
wife I'm
Start
about to
hating
take
you.
one for the team and push up on Cynthia G. Shit, I had that lady laying on her goddamn bed. I love black men. Yes, Sadie.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right. Sorry, Sugar Curls. That was obscene. How are you doing today? I'm gonna tone down the masculinity for Sugar Curls. She
I'm
deserves
doing
it.
good. How's everyone doing?
Hey,
Oh, we're good. We're good.
It's King Spark in the building.
What up, man? What y'all talking about?
I think you're up, Sugar Girls.
Sugar Girls is up.
Okay, I'm sorry. So we're talking about how can women protect themselves? Just
Yes.
opening thoughts?
Well, yeah, that's the in fact, let me put the question up real quick. Let me get to these super chats and then I'm gonna put the question on the marquee. Advanced perception, $2. The first step of protection is direction. I tend to agree with that. EBD, $5. A woman's best protection is her feminine nature. She is afforded the highest protection in encounters, the least amount of danger under any circumstance. Agree with that as well. Big Ant says EBD lying. He at the paternity clinic. I hope not. I hope not. But you're not wrong. My man Hink, what's going on? Are black women the devil?
Nope.
Oh,
All right. Black Thoughts, $2. She's trying to police men's conversations. I think that one's for you, Allure.
Okay.
No, but you hanging in there with us. Don't worry. You're doing well. Shoot. James says $10. Barbershop talk. Maybe a little. Most men tended to brag about the women they betted more than issues with women. I think both were kind of going on. I kind of remember a shift in around the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was also related to like the divorce rate going up. Some of them barbers were married. Even the hoodest ones were married. And all of that talk changed, bro. I'm sorry. 2010s, that shit was kind of different. I heard some FDBs in there a few times. I'm just saying. All right. Let me get this question up for you. All right, Sugar Curls. What measures can be taken by women to avoid violent encounters with men?
So I don't understand why a woman would have a violent encounter with a man unless he's
what?
Oh,
you went on mute.
You're muted.
You went on mute all of a sudden. Yep.
I think she said unless he's crazy.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying I don't see or understand why a woman would have a violent encounter with a man unless the man is just crazy, like he had, a blackout and he just goes crazy. She's trying to defend herself. because I think that there's so many ways to avoid situations. There's so many ways to get out of a situation, even before it escalates to the point of violence. Normally before violence, there's a conversation, there's even an intimidating snare or just look. There could be other people kind of egging on the situation. So I think a woman just needs to, or any person, but a woman in this situation just needs to avoid conflict because it's dangerous. I mean, this is not about how loud I can be or who's better. I mean, why would I want to hurt myself? Why would I want to not go home to my children, my husband? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, but the problem is a lot of women don't know how to have emotional intelligence. They don't know how to have self-control. And a lot of that has to do with, in my opinion, not having God's Holy Spirit. Because if a woman is godly and she has the Spirit of God, she's going to allow that to govern and guide her life. And so all of her qualities and how she wants to appear, like my husband always tells me, you represent me when you go out of this home. So when we take all those things into account, it's not hard to avoid violent situations unless, like I said, the person is being attacked by a crazy person. So.
All right. Appreciate that. My man King Spark in the building. You look like you're tired of the bullshit already. What did we do? What did we do?
No, I ain't there now. I was chilling. It's slow as a motherfucker today at the shop. We just got down back. I'm taking a nap down there.
Yeah,
Let me see if these niggas
went all out for Labor Day, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. But the question, you know, it's the same answer every day. Women should act like women and rest of their femininity and act like women. You know what I mean? Be in spaces where women should be.
Can I ask a question in relation?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for those women who act feminine, right? But some of them still who act feminine, some of them, for example, do get cheated on and still get beat. So how would you respond to that?
You said why do women get cheated?
Small number.
Hold on, I got it. You said why do some of the women that act feminine get cheated on and beat?
Yes, I'm just saying is that if it was that simple, then but there are some women who do act feminine, who do all those things. Like, for example, Derek Jackson. Danae Jackson was everything that you guys talk about, and she still got cheated.
Did she get beat though? I think we're
No,
trying
never
to
got
beat.
I'm talking about cheating in this
And
example.
she was
No,
hang on. You're not telling the whole truth, Lord. She was involved in the cheating. She was a part of the threesomes.
Hey, you know what, Trigger Mike, you know what my man said, cheating, beating into the game, they be the same thing. So that's what it is.
He was also a grifter who used SIP tactics to make money on YouTube. So I mean, that's like the worst guy to use.
And she was also complicit in that as well.
Allure.
Yeah. His wife was a part of that. As you're right, she was a part of that.
Hold on, Allure, I got a question for you too. Do you agree that your man should be allowed to have more than one woman if he wanted to?
Do I believe in polygamy?
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, personally, I don't. I'm not into polygamy, so I'm not.
Okay. Well, that answers your first question. That's why they get cheated on. Okay. That's one. That's the first one.
I was going to say this regards 100% correct. That's 100%.
That's the first. That's the first question.
He ain't got no self-control, y'all. I apologize.
At all. Shout out to
the second question is it got to be some type of imbalance with a dude that just wants to beat on his chick. Like that's a whole nother. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother realm. But mostly, I don't think like Trey was saying, it's got to be a small number of the super feminine chicks that are getting beat on. But it does happen though. It definitely does happen, but it's hard for us like upstanding gentlemen to speak on what the low lives are gonna do. You know what I mean? Like it don't make no sense to us either.
But the low lives really mess it up. The low lives are.
We have to stop acting like that. Everybody's on the same. Hang on, everybody's on the same level. We have to stop doing that.
That's right.
Right? There are good people, there are bad people, and then there's people in between. Right? And if you choose the people that are at the bottom, you're gonna get what comes with the bottom. And if you're not doing your job as a woman and vetting the man and taking the time, there's no way in the world you can know somebody in 6 months, in 8 months, 9 months, and then in a year. These things take time. I always say, let their true colors show. Give it time. But if you're picking people from the bottom, expect bottom results. There are low class, just horrible people. I know. I have looked murderers in the face and arrested them. They are terrible people. If you keep picking from the bottom, you're going to get the bottom.
It's also a question that's distracting to the real point. I mean, you know, just because there's a couple of percentage of men who beat their women, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That's right.
You know, I mean, we're not looking at the lowest common denominator woman. We're just talking about how things are right now, not how we want it to be. If it was a perfect world, then your question would be relevant, Allure. Men cheat. You know, when women talk about men cheating, what bothers me is it's really a projection, because women cheat on men almost much more than we cheat on them. And the data is coming out big time on that. So it's you know, these parts of the conversation kind of just derail where we're going. We're talking about whether women need to be protected and what can they do to protect themselves.
Right.
You know, and if you're concerned, and one of the things we keep saying and we keep getting pushback on is if you have a guy, you should submit to his leadership to try to protect you. And he's going to tell you something. One of the reasons why Tia Mary left her husband was because he checked her all the time. She wanted to do a whole lot of stuff that he didn't want her to do.
I could tell.
And you know, so she's talking, and that's what led to her happiness. And now, 6 months later, she's talking about I'll find love again and all this other horse shit. No man is gonna ever come back and marry her because they know that her whole mentality flows with the wind, right? So she was being protected by a man.
She got money. A simp is gonna go in there and take advantage.
I'm not talking about
she got money.
I'm talking about the man.
Oh, a man of value. A man of value is never going to touch you.
So I'll just land it there. So, Laura, I hear where you're coming from, but let's stay on point. You know, I mean, we're trying to get to a point where you can, get something out of this, but you got to listen. But go ahead.
Yo, but I think really at the end of the day, it comes back to self-accountability and self-responsibility. A lot of times, so many times in this society right now, people want to do all types of things, but they don't want no type of consequences to their actions at all. When for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's just the laws of nature and what happens. You can't put out things and don't expect something to come back. That's just what it is, whether it's good or whether it's bad. So what the things that women can do to avoid violent encounters with men, for the most part, is be accountable for their action, watch their mouth, watch their countenance. And of course, you can't prepare for crazy, but crazy, you would attract crazy a lot less if you're not crazy yourself.
Let me add something real quick. These same verbal judo tactics and this same de-escalation tactics that women want the men to use when things get chaotic, guess what? They apply to you too. You can use verbal judo and you can use de-escalation tactics as well. Everything doesn't have to be chaos, and you don't have to keep pouring more gas on the fire and keep going and keep going. You can also learn how to de-escalate situations as well.
I think something else is going on too. A lot of you guys have nailed it already. What's going on? These women, modern women, are being told that the best protection is a husband, and the verbal judo that you're talking about, they're doing that because they don't want to just admit that you're right, that they need a husband or a steady boyfriend. They all want to be Miss Independent, so they're never going to admit that. That's where you get all the passive aggressive, blah blah blah, switching to different topic stuff. Because the real topic is this: women that have husbands or steady boyfriends who hover in their orbit and keep them safe don't have to deal with these kinds of problems. That girl had a boyfriend that got it through that rock would have been on the ground. Simple as that. It's just the way it works. These women, they want all the benefits of life, everything life can offer, but they want to do it themselves. They've gotten so bad that they want to go to fertility clinics and get random sperm to get pregnant because they don't want a man. Problem is, you still needed a man to produce that too. They don't want to admit that this world requires men. we are required. Your lights won't work, your water won't work, your car won't start without men. Period. And they're trying to find a way to get through life without having to own that fact. You're never going to get rid of it. It's always going to come back to the fact that we are a necessity, because if men disappeared right now, this planet would completely fall apart. It'll look like an episode of The Walking Dead within 2 days if men just disappeared. Everybody knows it. All these women know it. They don't want to admit it because it'll make them look bad in front of their sister girls. So they don't want to admit that they need us. What men need to do is we need to start withholding the things that we're giving them for free. Stop giving a woman your time and money if she ain't giving you anything in return. It's too many guys online throwing money at random girls they don't know. Too many guys staring at a computer screen at some random girl, just tossing her money, swiping his credit card every 5 minutes. Stop. The number one thing that you're giving these women online that they don't deserve, and these women who act like this, is your time, money, and validation. If men start withholding those things the same way they withhold sex, then maybe it'll start to equalize. You know, I looked at a story where they said that 1 out of 4 marriages, the husband gets 0 sex, but he's still working, paying bills, taking care of kids, but his wife don't have sex with him. Men, we got to correct this. You know, Trey, he was right. It's because men have gotten weak and we don't demand anymore. We just let women run the show and they running our asses over. It's all it is.
No, because women are far smarter than men. You know why? This is why. They shame you, and you take that shame.
You said smarter?
They're smarter than men. Socially, they're smarter than men. Not in every other way, but socially they are. They shame men for not doing the housework. They shame men for not being men. But men don't turn around and shame women for not being women. I have a friend of mine. She called me one day and said, hey, can you come to my house and help me to hang up a television? I'm like, bitch, go get your husband. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. 2 hours later, she called up a guy, called me on video, and showed me a guy hanging up a television, mounting a television. You know what I said to the guy? Right on that video call, I told the guy, it's men like you that keep women like us single the rest of our lives. Because you guys show up to our house to do a job that a baby father, she has a baby daddy. A baby daddy don't do shit for her. You, a man with a wife, leave your wife at home to go help a female friend hang that television. That's that problem right there. I told the guy was shocked. I know him personally, but I talked to him right at her face. Your problem, you guys keep women single. And to the other point, I got to say this. I've said it very often. We as men always have to understand that if we don't talk to women around us, if we don't put their head in one place, they're going to keep disrespecting us every day, every time. When you put your foot on that brake, keep pressing it down. Because guess what? It's cumbersome on us to always have to straighten our lives and the life of those that depend on us. Look at Tia Marida, just like you guys said. She's going to do all this bullshit. But sorry, there are many women out there that are going to act like her. They're going to call men controlling. I do not any apology for being controlling. Ask my wife. I am a control freak. She said that many years ago, and I told her many years ago, I'm always going to be a control freak. As long as you are in this house, I'm a control freak. I tell you when to go out, when not to go out, when to be home, and when not to do stupid things. Because you know why? It comes back on my head. It's my family. It's my last name. As long as I'm the man in this house, what I say goes. I told her I'm not going to deny your contribution. You can suggest, but you're not going to make the final say. As long as I'm alive and I'm the father of this house. That's it. And let her understand that the day you float my authority is the day this relationship ends. Because you know what? It will end. If you float my authority, it will end.
Wayne, Ikene.
I don't give a damn if I'm in America.
That's man shit. Shout out to Ikene.
I bet. GL in the back. Go ahead and cam up real quick so I know you're a real person.
Salute
before I let you up.
Ikene.
I bet.
That's that man stuff.
Can I ask you guys this question real quick before GL goes? Do we legitimately think that this situation would have happened had she had a man? Now, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, she's a lesbian feminist, by the way. So the idea of a man even coming to her rescue just is mind-boggling to me to even begin with. Because everything she's done has been against the man. But let's just hypothetically say she was heterosexual and she was in a relationship and she's out with her man. Do we even see a brick? Does this altercation even happen? Because what I believe is that a lot of things are deterred simply by the presence of a man, simply because he's there. I've been in situations where somebody tried to talk to my girl. Maybe I wasn't standing right next to her, and you can see a guy he's going to approach her until he sees me walk over. And then it's like, oh, okay, all right. And there's a deterrence sort of, and we can't quantify that. Trigger Mike can never quantify how many times he's deterred something that may or may not have happened to his wife or kids. And we can't quantify that. Do you guys honestly think that this would have happened if she were heterosexual and there was an actual man there?
No, when I'm out in public,
Trigger Mike is famous for saying all the time about how, Asian men and Arab men, what I'm saying, they go out with their women and, what I'm saying, they protect their women to that degree. So he's famous for saying so. Absolutely not. If she had a man with her,
absolutely. But it's also, remember, Trey, I think one of the biggest staples for the protection of women and women that actually appreciate their men, like those Asian and Indian style women, is that they understand that my presence is your protection. Let me take this man out with me. Just literally follow. And like literally, I'm trying to think. A dude doesn't even have to speak or shut the woman down all the time if she's ready to get riled up. Because I remember in college, I didn't like hanging around females like that, large group of females. They use dudes to start fights with other dudes. You see what I'm saying? Like, what? You wouldn't say that shit if I wasn't standing right here. You don't have to fight this fucking 6'5", 270 football player. Shut the fuck. Like, you be saying stuff like that. Like, take your ass to the car. Who the fuck you think you talking to? And the dude some dudes would be like, oh shit, he got it. I thought I had to check his chick real quick. Wasn't even my chick.
Hey, Mike, that's what she was banking on, though. That's what she was banking on. Hold on, Payne, real quick. That's what she was banking on. She was banking on the fact that it was dudes around there, and she could act the goddamn fool, and somebody was gonna step in. So then when she got hit with the brick, she was in shock, and she jumped on the goddamn video talking about, I can't believe all y'all standing around here.
No, she said y'all black men. She's
all y'all black men standing around here. She was acting the goddamn fool.
That's
she
how
thought
black
she was
men
gonna get saved.
That's how so many black men get either put in jail or dead. And most of the time it happens because it's big groups of people and you got women out there gassing up other dudes on super unleaded, and then a bunch of crap happens. And then somebody end up dead or in jail.
Let me say what I was going to say on this thing. Listen, even if the guy wasn't there, she was in a regular relationship, not this woman, but a woman in a regular relationship where she understands the purpose of her man. Even if he wasn't there, she would have never been in this altercation with this dude in the first place, whether he was there or not. Right? That's not how she would have been moving. Now, there's more information about this situation. I don't know if you have that, Mike, for later on in the broadcast.
Yeah.
But there was, with the guy who said he was there, could be true, could be true. But, we know this chick was a lesbian. And they have all those things saying that she couldn't stand men and that women are their own protectors and all that kind of stuff. And the video of her slapping everybody, talking about, and they were all skits, by the way. But go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Anissa is trolling in the chat. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I had to read this. If your woman doesn't want to have sex with you, check how you treat her and look in the mirror. Have you let yourself go? If my woman stops having sex with me, she basically just signed her agreement form for polygamy, and she gonna watch my second wife come in and do the job she won't.
Damn right.
What the hell do you think this is? Y'all better stop playing with us.
Yeah, they
Y'all
think they
better
supposed to
Trigger,
be
you
able
ain't
to
hold
go
on, Trigger.
do what
Trigger,
they
you ain't
want, but
answer
we
the
can't.
question though, Trigger.
They
Did
think
you
that
let
women
yourself
have that
go?
wrong that part.
That's the question. Did
I
you let
might
yourself
have.
go?
I might have. You know what? You about to be simp Trey for the rest of the day.
I'm just asking. I'm
Nope.
just asking.
Nope.
As long as
SB,
I pay the bills, the panties gonna drop. It's that simple.
that's
Or you
If it
gonna
doesn't,
or your
the
stuff
word.
gonna be
Really,
on the
Okay?
Trigger?
porch.
It's the
Really, Trigger?
word.
Really,
drugs, you gotta
Trigger?
live.
The word.
Really, Trigger?
I'm not gonna blaspheme here. I pay it, therefore panties. What?
Drop.
Drop it.
Take your
Dude,
panties off. Take
Hey,
your
salute,
panties.
hey,
y'all
salute to
being vulgar.
SB. We got the Queen Mother. We got the Queen Mother on the panel.
What's
Salute to
going on,
SB.
SB?
Oh my. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Fine.
Good. It's been an interesting conversation. I've enjoyed it. I do want to say a couple of things about how women can definitely protect themselves. I don't know who it was. I was listening while trying to come here also, but whomever said marriage is the best answer, it is. Women should be covered by men. I think this is my opinion. That is like the number one thing. Sometimes when you have a man, you move different. A woman being out late at night by herself is a very vulnerable woman. But from words of my husband, another reason that women, something else that women should do is he always tells me, I need you to take your weapon with you. I like to go walking and exercising in my community. And he tells me all the time, don't leave out of here without your weapon, because men are not the only thing that women should be looking out for. They should also be looking out for other women, other being of other animals, other being of other races, what have you. We need to learn how to protect ourselves, period. And other things is kindness. Sometimes when you just smile at a person and just be nice to them, they'll leave you alone. It's not all about trying to hurt the Black woman, in my opinion. But again, y'all see it daily, all day long. Walmart, Burger King, the mall, everywhere, where Black women are totally out of control. I hate to say it, but ladies, y'all are sometimes totally out of control, and the police officers can't even control you. So an average guy that is standing on the block, he will knock your head off, because police officers are controlled by laws and rules and regulations. And sometimes I'm looking at them just wondering how they can't, or why they haven't knocked your head off yet. I'm just like, how do they do it? Why are they begging? Why are they begging? And they're constantly begging, and these women are constantly just laying and screaming and all over the ground, just out of control. So a man on the block, yeah, he'll knock your head off. But the most important thing, mind your business, be quiet, learn that there's power in femininity, and shut up. Women need to learn how to just shut up and walk away. That's who we should be. And until then, you're going to hear a lot more incidents like this. The police officer's going to have a harder time. I seen one the other day biting. She was biting a police officer's arm, and his natural reflex was just to try to take her neck off. I mean, what do you expect? What's the expectation? Pain is pain. Pain is pain. And these women are not stopping. They're very aggressive. I can only just hope and pray that they learn from so many different videos and other ladies being, the examples of not what to do, or what not to do, I should say.
All right. Thank you for that. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Black Thoughts, $2. Tactics to move the conversation away from women. Advanced Perception, $5. We just saw this with Amber Heard and Dominique Jones. Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. These types think they are protected by the law and other Black men. Very true. AL, $5. If she was with a man, she wouldn't have been in random dude's face smacking them. Stop asking for protection when you start ish. Indeed. Thank y'all for those super chats. Keep them coming. We got an all-star panel. Anybody? I'm gonna get the next question going for anybody that wants to answer it. And I think this is a good one. Can a man protect what he can't control? Anybody, please.
No, he can't.
Hell no.
Why would you want to?
If he's giving instructions to his wife or his woman, don't wear the really short dress, don't do certain things, don't go to the girlfriend's house around the corner, and she goes anyway, then she has just walked away from all protection. Yes. Can't be covered. No way.
Hey, if you do whatever you want, you got to suffer the consequences. That's what happens to men when we go out in the streets and do whatever we want. We get hurt, killed, or put in jail. So if you don't want to listen to your husband or boyfriend or your brother or your dad, and you just go out there and you want to shake it and be wild, stupid games, stupid prizes. Simple as
Yeah,
that.
you know what? That should be definitely that kind of control for safety reasons and understanding has to be a part of men's vetting process for a wife. You got to know that before you marry her. I mean, and this whole narrative that women say, well, you marry me, then I'll do all these things. If you ever accept that, then you're a fool. All of these things have to be up front before you give her the honor of asking her to be your wife. And I think men keep forgetting that's our last superpower. A woman wants to be married, she got to come through us, and she needs to deserve that. And a lot of guys, just acquiesce to too much because they see a big booty and this and that and all that other kind of stuff. And I don't know how many examples that you need to know that's not how you pick a wife.
I think it
Don't
needs
come through me because it ain't happening. Don't come through me.
It should even be deeper. It should be deeper. They should ask all types of questions. They should want to know. They should want to know if your mom and daddy married. Do you know your daddy? Do you know your mama? Is this your aunt or is this your grandma? You need men, and y'all need to know everything. Y'all need to know what grew this person up. That's how you know who the person is. You want to know all foundational questions. And if you don't think that you can add some foundation of marriage to this person because they never saw it, you need to walk away.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how the conversation got to marriage. This is
Trey, that's all I talk about, Trey. You know
forget Trey. You know what? Nope. I got rebuttal for you, Trey. Without marriage, are people still pairing off in companionship situations?
Yes.
And if you, are in a companionship situation for a woman long enough, isn't she going to want to be tied to you on paper some way, somehow? Most women,
yes.
So the topic, whether it's legal marriage or not, will always be two people in an exclusive situation. So even if we're using the word marriage, that's what we really mean. A woman is going to want an exclusivity contract with the man, especially if she births his children.
And I have one.
That's fine. That's fine. And she can have exclusivity, but at the end of the day, there is a difference between protecting a woman that is your wife and protecting a woman that is not your wife. As far as being able to protect a woman or be able to protect what he can't control, whether he can actually do it, in my opinion, is irrelevant. The question is should you? And the answer is no. You should never protect anything that is not under your control or under your authority. I made that very clear, and I've told everybody in my family, if I can't tell you that you need to do something different, if I tell you that we need to get up and leave this restaurant right now and you challenge my authority, you are on your own. If I see things, I see a lot of things before they happen because I've been trained to see things before they happen. So if I say things and you don't want to do it, you are on your own. There's only one person I know for a fact that will listen to me regardless. She does not get to challenge me, and that is my daughter. She didn't get to challenge anything. But
So
I
I
know
got
a
a
lot
question.
of adults, a lot of adult women will challenge your authority.
I got a question to ask you.
I got a question also.
Can I answer the question real fast? Because I got to get ready to bail. I got to get off of here. I said it yesterday. I'll make it quick. Don't inherit other people's beef. It's just that simple. Don't inherit other people's beef. I live in Tennessee. There is a lot of domestic violence in Tennessee, unfortunately. I've been in public where guys are hitting a woman. I've seen women hitting a man. I've seen people abusing their kids in public. And we all have that natural urge to want to step in and say something or do something. But it's like I told you guys yesterday. I saw a friend of mine step in to help a girl who was getting beat up by her boyfriend. The girl and her boyfriend both started beating my friend up. So he jumped in to help her and got jumped by both of them. And I told him, don't inherit other people's beef. It's not your problem. It's not your issue. The only thing going to happen is you're going to get hurt or you're going to end up in court or the hospital or jail. Stay out of it. It sucks. I hate to see bad things happen to people, especially people, that are women, children, and old people. But don't get sucked into other people's stuff because it never ends well. It never ends well. And
I want you to think about something. As a police officer, hang on. As a police officer, I've gone to hundreds of DV situations. And I've had the woman who called us to help her turn on me. I'm there to help her. She's jumping on my back. So I want you to think about that when you think about intervening into these situations. A lot of the times you don't know the backstory. You should probably stay out of it. And I know that looks crazy to watch someone, especially someone who's more vulnerable, get beat up. But a lot of times you have no idea what happened, and you could be intervening into a situation that she brought onto herself.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I want to add to what SB just said. If you are courting a woman that you want to marry, or a man is courting you and wants to marry you, and that man or the woman is a product of sperm bank, run. Don't marry nobody that is a product of sperm bank, because guess what? Whoever bore that child, the woman that made the decision to bring that child on earth, did it vet whose sperm she used? Because you know what? Sperm bank is a very, very dangerous thing. The reason why I said this is this. No family history. You don't know if that guy or that girl is coming from a family that has criminal history, prostitution history, gang history, bad blood, sickle cell. You don't know those things. Maybe sickle cell you might know because it's a biology, right? But the genealogy of that human being, family thread, family history, you don't know. So please, if that girl or the man is a product of sperm bank, run, because you don't want to be having kids that are going to be prostitutes, future armed robbers, future rapists, future whatever. You don't want to do that.
I have a quick question. I know that in 2023, a lot of people don't particularly want to get married by, traditional laws, marriage license. So if we have that type of situation, is it a conversation that happens between the man and the woman where she's aware or where he's aware that at this point in time, I am your covering, I'm covering you despite what, how we live or us not having this marriage license? Does everyone understand that he is the covering for this woman, or is it, understood that you're not my wife, we're just in a long-term relationship?
No, it's definitely understood, because that's how I operate. I mean, we're just operating outside of white folks' jurisdiction, that's all. And two grown people should be able to operate outside of that and have that conversation, a candid conversation about what are we doing? What do I mean to you? What do you mean to me? Where's this going? Do we have a timeline for it? What does this mean at all of that stuff should be talked about. I'm in a situation similar to that. All of that stuff is talked about. Very candid conversation about finances, who gonna pay for this, what is all of that, all the way down the line. It's all because the understanding, the marriage license, that's fine, right? But the marriage license ain't gonna do nothing. Once you put it in the folder, you put it up on the wall or wherever you put it, you still got to have that understanding between the two people to carry out a successful marriage either way, anyway.
So why not get it?
Well, everybody has their reason. Everybody has, every situation isn't as simple as that. Some people, let me just put it to you this way. Some people may have some disadvantages that they carry with them that they don't want to connect to their wife and things like that.
You don't get married. You don't get married because you don't gain as much as she does.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
She may gain more from this than you do, and and you're at a disadvantage. That's why you don't get married. It's a bad deal.
So I hear what both of you are saying, but I just wondered about the principle, the foundation, because see, men and women, you're thinking with a very logical mind, which that's who you are, but women think very emotional. And until you can actually impart that part of logic to them, they will not understand or go for or respect what you're doing. So a lot of times we cause problems for ourselves when we try to misalign things or take things and make them what we want them to be instead of just letting it be what it is. And what I mean by that is marriage itself. marriage for me is a biblical concept. It comes with foundation and principles. And if that's what you want, then that's what you do. But outside of that, we kind of just creating and adding to as we go along. But again, if your woman or vice versa, everybody understands and agrees with what's going on, I think it should work. And we'll work. People have worked everything, but I just wonder what holds you to those type of agreements.
Let me ask you this question.
Let me just finish this thought. I just wonder what holds you to it, because when you have principles and foundations are what they are. They're never changing. When you have morals, it is what it is. But when we just adding to, it's all like, when something comes up, now I got to change to adjust to this particular situation. When as you had a foundation coming in, there would be no adjustment. We just go back to that foundation. I'm not saying we can't fall off, but we just go back to that foundation because it is what it is. I just, question.
Well, so let me answer this question though.
Go ahead.
Can you separate you mentioned about a biblical principle of marriage. Can you separate that from the government's certificate for marriage? Can you get married to somebody? Can you get married without the paperwork from the state? You know what I'm saying? I do. That's important.
That's why I asked the question, because we really want to be honest. Having sex was the marriage initially in history. Then later on became the marriage, as in what God has said, a one woman and one man. So all of this is correct. I'm not knocking that, but I'm just trying to figure out where's the foundation coming from.
No, but I'm asking you a question based on this. Can we go that can you see going down the aisle in a church to get married biblically, covenant with God, without the paperwork to the state?
I have something. Why
does the paperwork to the state actually matter with your covenant to God?
Because there's also other things that God has told us to do, is like obey the laws of the land. And you do what they tell you to do in certain areas. Now, if this is where you are, he said you have to follow, just like we follow traffic laws, just like we're not criminals, just like we, you can kill somebody, but it better be in self-defense, those type things. You follow.
But
you can have paperwork without being married.
And that's what I was going to say. SB, let me say this real quick.
Wait a minute, hold on for a minute. Let me make sure I understand. Payne, can you say that once more? You kind of broke up.
Listen, if you can still have paperwork without the government's, it's like one size fit all. Your covenant with God is separate from your contract with the state.
But now, I just told you why we would do it.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you don't have the contract with the state, which is like a one size fits all, right? Not a one size fits all. It's like a compilation of all the things you need. You don't have to be married based on the state to have paperwork. Like if I had a living girl from a common law marriage kind of thing, and we didn't, you could have paperwork of power of attorney. Can you see me in the hospital? Who takes the kids if something happened to both of us? All those kind of things. A will that says that my significant other, whether I'm married to her legally or not, inherits. Just the thing that happened to DMX's wife, right? Her girlfriend. He was with her for 15 years with no paperwork. If they would have just had those simple paperwork things, whether they were married or not, she could have inherited all his stuff because he could have wrote it down on paper and had a lawyer, verify that stuff. So what I'm saying, I think your covenant with God is separate from the separation of church and state. It's separate from your contract with the state.
Let me say this real quick.
That could be the case. People leave God out of a lot of things, and that could be the case with some people and their beliefs. But that's not who I am, and I guess it depends. It solely depends on your beliefs and your relationship, and whatever God has, commanded you to do, or whatever He's, if you're settled in it, and this is you think He's approving of it. Hey, you do what you want. I'm just telling you why people do it. But I don't want to.
SB, let me say this too. Let me say this real quick. After Payne, let me say this real quick.
Married to protect a woman.
One mic.
He doesn't need to be married to her to protect her at all. He doesn't have to be married to her to protect her.
Well, that's what y'all been saying, though, haven't you? Haven't you saying
we said it would be better, but let me say this real quick.
Marriage is irrelevant to me at all. I don't need any of it. I don't need anything as far as marriage is concerned to do anything for a woman. I don't. The exact paperwork that y'all signed, there is an equal equivalent to it outside of marriage. Literally every document, there's an equal equivalent outside of its marriage. You don't have to be married to take care of a woman or to protect her at all.
I thought that's what you just said, though. That was the question. I was like, how does the woman know? But go ahead. I'm sorry, King Shark.
I never answered it. King Spark answered it.
There is, I don't know why, and I love the Bible thumpers and I get it and all of that. But honestly, there is morals, respect, honor, and tradition outside of the Bible.
It should
you
be.
can do you can do all of these things that you talk about, all those principles that are contained within the Bible. You can operate with those same principles outside of the Bible.
I agree. There are a lot of good people in the world. There are a lot of good people in the world. You're exactly right.
People rarely do.
But
no,
here's
he's right.
the thing.
There are a lot of good people in the world. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I agree. Not everybody's a Bible thumper.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I was to be whatever devil's advocate and play the foolishness that goes on in the church, it's a lot of foolishness that goes on in the church. And then the next argument is going to be, well, what is that person's personal relationship with God? And my thing is this: you cannot run the receipts on anyone's personal relationship with God.
Right.
There's no way for you to look at a person. I don't care how they perform, how they act, how they present, right? There's no way for you to go back and verify, like the Wakanda with the thing where you show your lip to make sure that you know you're one of God's people. There's no way that you can guarantee that.
Well, you don't have to do that. It's bearing fruit every day. It's how you
right,
speak.
And that's
everything you just mentioned.
And that's how we do it. And that's how we do it outside of it.
But listen, you should never use other people or other things as your measuring stick. Your relationship and your morals and standards or whatever you live by are yours. They're for you. And if you good, we good. But you should never use somebody. You should never look at the church and be like, "Oh, people in the church." I mean, that doesn't make sense because there's people also. They're there for a purpose.
SB, I disagree with that. The reason why is because tradition is set by our ancestors. So that means they implement something. They set something that everybody should implement. So that means you have to use other people's rules as a benchmark to straighten family relationship. And the reason why I said this is this.
No, you don't look at somebody else's failures to say, I'm doing better than them, so I'm okay.
It's a measuring stick. It's a measuring stick because you use somebody else's success and failure to measure your success and failure. It's scientific. But guess what? If you don't do that, how do you know you're doing something wrong? You always have
because God himself innately put that in you, right and wrong. You know that. You don't have to
we get back.
I agree, Trey. I agree, Trey. Let's get back to the protection.
You guys cannot be having conversation then when it doesn't go your way. You want to change the conversation.
Listen, it's not that it's not going anyone's way. We just getting off of the subject. It's a good conversation.
We can always come back. That's okay. But this is what I want
to say. Trigger, Mike. Is this okay with you? Because we're totally going off your subject. I don't think that's okay. I'm going to ask your permission.
Yeah, I'm about. Y'all keep it going.
We should
King Spark and Payne and Trey, hold it down. I'm about to go get my son. Y'all keep the discussion going.
I just want to get in. Man. Let me finish. I was still talking when you called me out. This is what no. You guys got no. You please, guys. Let's just give everybody courtesy.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So this is what I'm trying to say. We as a people have to understand that there is a measurement that is set forth on this earth before we came here. And I think we should follow that measurement. You can't be changing the rules because it doesn't go your way. And the reason why I'm saying this is this. Marriage was never meant to satisfy a woman. It's just in the last 70 years that people came with the idea that, oh, what is there for the woman? Marriage was made not to satisfy a man either. Marriage was made as a legacy for the next generation. So this generation prepares the next generation. When the next generation comes, they prepare the generation after that. That's why for thousands of years, marriage has always succeeded until all these spoiled brats showed up 70 years ago. Now they want to change the rules and say, okay, you know what? You have to leave a will for the wife. You have to make sure that when he's gone, that everything should be okay for her. It's about your children.
So,
It's about children and the next generation. So you can go to a church and get a marriage certificate. Yes, you can. But let me say this, because there is something that people say sometimes that we don't pay attention to. Trey has a concern about marriage. It should not be taken away from him. Marriage is for women. Marriage is a security for women today.
no, it's not. Like, y'all,
Marriage is a security for women. So now men are saying that, okay, if you guys are protecting women in this marriage, what is there for me? That's has to be addressed, because if we don't address this issue, there won't be marriage in the next 20 or 40 years. It's going to be gone.
We got your point. Go ahead, Eda, man. Go ahead.
I just came up here to tell security boss, don't fall for it. Listen, hey, I've been asking these guys. So you tell me the girl you with got power of attorney over you right now, and they say no. They say like this idea that I can go get a power of attorney. I can go do all this stuff outside of marriage to give her the rights to do all this stuff. I'm going to put her in my will. It's not true. It is just a talking point. When people out here yelling, talk about, we going to do this, we going to do this outside of marriage, we going to do all these POAs and all this stuff. They're not doing that stuff. They
Wait
don't
a minute,
want to.
E-Man, let me ask you a question. Are you saying
You
it's not
might give me that. You might
possible? Let me just ask you a question on that point before you go too far. You're saying that you can't do it, or people just aren't doing it.
They not doing it. So this
Okay, so that's a different question, because you know how many married people don't even have a will. There's a lot of married people without a will.
No, it's actually cheaper to get married. You can go get a.
This isn't about money.
It's not about money.
No, let me. If y'all let
Go
me
ahead,
land,
man. Go ahead, finish.
I know. I'll leave in a second if you want me to leave.
No, man, I just want to get clarification on what
Is it cheaper to have a wedding or not?
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead, finish.
No, you're talking about money.
But let him finish.
I didn't have a wedding. You had one. Who spent more money?
I didn't have a wedding. I went to my.
Okay, well, people who have weddings,
do
they
spend
more money?
Out of your mouth. Yeah,
Do
like
they
you
spend
don't
more
know
money?
Huh?
Does a person who is with someone who didn't get married and didn't have a wedding, do they spend as much money as a person who had a wedding?
If you getting a power of attorney, if you doing all this stuff, because you're gonna spend money $300-400 on the power of attorney, and that's cheap. That's not really talking about a real lawyer building it the right way that it's supposed to happen. So I get it. I'm not saying that a person can't do all these things outside the law to do it. We're not arguing that point. But most men are not doing that. And a lot of women have bought into these lies that she's going to still have all the access when he died. You know who have all the access? The woman that he's really married to. The one he was married to 20 years ago. And the reason he really don't want to marry you is because he's still married to that last woman. So I get it. Y'all can argue these points that you can do all this outside of the law.
Man, you're making an assumption that these guys didn't vet their situation properly before they asked these women to do that. You know, let's have an even playing field. A guy who doesn't want to have a wife. You know,
but the biggest thing when y'all keep saying let's go outside of the state to do all these things, right?
Some guys are saying that. We all ain't saying. We're looking at possibilities.
Well, I'm saying it. I'm gonna do it outside. I'm gonna do it outside the state. I'm gonna do everything outside the state. To help myself. The hell with the goddamn state.
So I'm just asking people to be honest. If you truthfully, honestly don't want to protect, you don't want to provide for these women, just say that.
So I got a question, Eda Man.
Hang on. Before you go, SBU, I've just looked it up. According to several sources, the average cost of a wedding in 2022 was $30,000. Which one's cheaper, getting the paperwork or getting married?
Most people not spending $30.
Sir, that's not that. The average cost. The average cost, meaning there are people above it and people below it. So let's not make an argument for the one. Let's not make an argument for the minority. The average cost is $30,000. Should I get married or should I do the paperwork?
We're talking about.
Do the paperwork?
Listen, we're talking about marriage, not weddings.
No, sir, you brought up money. You brought up money.
Trey, you tell me a marriage and a wedding is the same thing.
I'm talking about the wedding. I'm talking
We're
about the
not
wedding.
talking about the wedding. This
You
whole
brought up
conversation-
money.
No,
you not?
I was talking
Did you
about
not? Did you not bring up
married.
money?
See,
Did you not bring up money?
I'm talking about two different things, Trey.
Sir,
I tell people not to get
hang on a
for
second.
wedding.
You brought up money. You said that it costs money to get a power of attorney. It costs money to do these things. I'm simply making a counter argument that it is actually more expensive to have a wedding. And the average cost of a wedding is $30,000 in the United States.
Trey, you're dragging this. Either man, what is the definition of marriage and what is the definition of wedding? What's the definition of marriage?
It don't matter. Well, I don't know why y'all acting like the state is such an honorable institution. The state ain't an honorable institution.
Hold on a second, guys. Wait a minute. What
marriage is a process. When you wed somebody, you get into marriage with them. So marriage might not be expensive, but guess what? Wedding is the ceremony that takes place before the marriage comes in, right? You gotta go if you want to be in a marriage relationship with somebody, you gotta go to wedding. That's what Trey is trying to tell you, that wedding is expensive.
No,
so you have to.
The reason that's a bad argument, SB didn't have no wedding. I didn't have no wedding.
Sir, it's an average. It's an average. There are people below it.
Let security boss say something. Go ahead, security boss.
Well, I just kind of want to get to the root of it because we're saying this, and I want to know from Edaman, since you said the men are just basically speaking because they need some sort of extra deterrent not to actually follow the traditional rules for marriage. So do you think it's because of commitment, or do you think it's because they want to protect their assets?
Most of them don't got access. Like, if we really be honest,
disingenuous.
Let me answer the question. Why do you get triggered, Payne, when she asked me the question?
Because you're not answering correctly. You making
you want me to answer the way you want me to answer. See, that's what it is.
So
they want a monologue over here.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer the question the way you want
so
to.
Deion Sanders won his first game on Saturday. Shout out to Deion.
Shout out to Deion. You're right. Colorado. I'm there with you on that one. But Edaman, what do you think? Is it commitment or is it for the protection? Because I'm hearing the state, I'm hearing the government. The piece of paper is null and void. But it seems like we're taking that piece of paper and everything that it encompasses or that would cover, and they want to do it individually, which would mean the same thing. So I'm just trying to figure out, what is it? Is it the commitment, or is it the security or the protection of the,
Yeah, I think it has nothing to do with the state. I think it's 100% to do with the level of commitment. What we know in a long-term relationship, you can walk away from it at any time with no consequences. But when you start talking about a marriage, you can't just walk away from a marriage because you guys are legally tied together. And so I think
you can walk away from a marriage.
Edaman, I got one more question.
Don't go home.
So Edaman, I got one more question. If you think it's the securities of the, more financial, if you don't think it's that, so I got a question for all the men. If the woman is in a position, if she's in a position to have more possessions, more, things coming to her, like, inheritance, and she has more money or what have you, would they feel the same way, you think?
No. Listen, we would feel the same way because security boss, let's just be honest, okay? I don't care how much money or possessions a woman has. A real woman ain't gonna take care of no man, no way. So it don't matter how much money she has. Ain't no woman walking around.
And
what do you mean? That's the whole point. Because it can't be the other way. When we're traditional, we're going to be traditional, and the man is going to take care of the woman. So regardless if my woman makes 6 figures, that's not something that's on the table. That has no part of my decision what I'm going to do with her.
I'm not speaking of weekly or monthly income. I'm saying an inheritance or if a woman
we're talking about an extremely small number of women. No, you hang on a second. We're talking about an extremely small number of women who have an inheritance. I mean,
wait a minute. Are you saying? Hold on. Let me make sure I understand.
I'm not saying that it's not happening. I'm talking that number is very small, and the odds of a man actually meeting a woman who has an inheritance is highly unlikely. Most women
That's right.
still in. Listen,
So you
I
saying
would
most
agree with
women?
that as
So you,
well.
wait a minute, wait a minute. So you're saying most
build
women's
their wealth
fathers?
through
So
inheritance to a marriage. That is still today. That is still the number one way women build their wealth is through marriage and divorce.
no, I'm saying to you about the inheritance part. Are you saying that you don't think that there's enough women that have fathers or mothers or whomever that have bought investment properties, have homes, and have invested in the stock market, have IRAs and all that? You don't think that that's a normal thing at all?
It is happening, but the idea that men are going to find women with this inheritance and she's going to marry them, that goes against women's biology. Most women want a man.
The security force.
Hang
That
on,
woman is not looking.
hang on, Rich.
I mean, but you
Most women want a man who makes 56% more money than he does. So even if she has an inheritance, she's going to look up. She's not looking down. She's looking up.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of women don't even know these things exist until the fathers or the mothers actually pass away.
Oh, that's not.
No, that's very, very true. It's very
So how would it be
Let me
relevant if you don't know that it exists?
Yeah,
I do want to answer your
Let
question.
me give you an example. But I didn't ever think about it until my mother actually passed away. My mom and dad got real estate, got 401ks, got all this stuff. My dad now is living off all these things. And if he passed away, I get all of it. It never played a role in my life or with Mr. Boss. We never banked on it. He never banked on it. But if something should to happen to me, it goes to him.
So I got
it's all his. But we don't think about it. Listen to what I'm saying. After I started, listen.
Let her finish. Go ahead.
Since I sell real estate, I have done it for a very long time.
Hold on a second.
Hold on, Pam. I didn't say anything.
I knew as soon as you saw boys get into this offending things, don't let anybody talk.
I'm not saying anything, man. I'm not even saying anything. I mean,
Okay.
listen.
All right, no
conversation. There's some points there that
No,
I didn't even. I said one thing. I shut up, and then you guys keep telling me to shut up. I'm not even saying anything.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just trying to make a note of things, how women can be assets, and I just wondered if it would change your mind on marriage if you knew or thought of it this way, because since I do sell real estate, I have sold many homes and many properties where there are families or inheritance there. Families have left real estate homes to one, you get two, you get three. I've seen all of this. And these women, they have no clue because that's not how you live your life. You're not thinking about, when my daddy and mama die. You don't think that way. But the reality of it is it comes to you in their death. So I'm just saying to you all, it may not be millions of dollars, but it could be several investments. It could be some stocks. It could be things like that. I'm just asking, would that change the situation? Because not only, if I'm married, whatever's mine is my husband's. And that's just how it is. But if we are saying you don't live go ahead, Trey. I'm done.
Can I ask you, SB, do I know about the inheritance before we got married, or did it happen while we were married?
You never married me. You never married me. We just played the game of playing house. I'm asking, would it make a difference? That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you know that the woman,
we were together, and she found out she had an inheritance.
I don't think it would make a difference.
Yeah, that's what you're asking.
I'm just wondering if men knew, because I think from what Eda Man is asking and saying, I think a lot of times when men are afraid of commitment. And on one hand, or on the other hand, they may be just protecting their assets. But I was like, if maybe men knew that women could be of asset to them and build with them, they could look at it differently. I don't know.
SB, can I tell you what modern women are going to do?
Oh, okay, we're talking about, okay, yes.
Modern women, when they find out they get an inheritance, they're going to leave him. And they're going to find somebody richer.
Let me say this too. We talk about commitment. Oh yeah, we talk about commitment, right? And
he said that's one of the parts.
We talk about commitment, when we talk about marriage, we talk about everybody's trying to qualify these relationships and saying that one is better than the other. But the truth of the matter is you only got 24 hours in one day. Okay? And however you live in them 24 hours, that's the reality of your life. Right? If you're going home when I leave here, my lady's gonna cook dinner. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna eat dinner, I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna watch a football game, then I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna come back to the store, I'm gonna do the same thing again. Right? So whether we got the paperwork or people talking about long-term relationships, you don't want a commitment because you can always leave in and out of it. That ain't what it's about. You're going to live your life the way you live your life. What y'all do every day, day in and day out, is what defines your reality in your relationship. If
Right.
you
So you
married,
make it what it is.
Your question.
So
Can I ask
you are the person that controls your reality. So you make it
That's
what you want it to
right.
be. If
That's
you and your
right.
woman if y'all wanna, have fun on the chandeliers, y'all have fun on the chandeliers. Don't be like, oh, them other people do it. If that's what you want, you do it.
That's
I,
right.
you know, I
You
want
can't
I
you
want to
don't
ask
wanna,
you a question.
so you
Hold on.
create your own reality. You do it. Don't look at other people. Don't be
But
like, oh, their marriage failed or marriage is divorced in 50%, so I'm not gonna do it. You create
Well,
your
I get that,
own.
but that was never my argument. That
No,
was
I'm
never
not.
my
I'm not.
argument.
I'm
Yeah,
just.
yeah.
I
I get
like
what
what
you're
you
saying,
said.
though. I get what you're
I like
saying.
what
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
as far as us creating our own reality, and that's what we need to do. But so often, what we do is bring up stats from other people and have no idea what happened in their marriage, or we say what other people are doing down the street. That's what I just said. Don't make your church or anybody else your example. You create your own reality.
So, but no, I want to answer your question because you did address that to me, right?
I
Was it
did.
financial versus the commitment, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
we know that it's not financial because since we're talking about paperwork, it's things that you can put in place, paperwork within the marriage to protect your assets. We know that. We know that 100%. If people say, hey, if it wasn't the commitment, people say, okay, I just get a prenup. And if they agree to whatever terms the prenup actually agreed to, it's the exact same thing as them getting the things. Actually, they'll be more protected in the prenup than the power of attorney because the power of attorney will give her unlimited access. It depends on what kind of power of attorney you got. So it's 100% SD commitment. It ain't got nothing to do with financial because most of these guys don't even have financials to argue about, to be honest. It's just that
What's
they
the
don't really.
definition? What's the definition of commitment?
Okay, we can go to let's go to
Yeah, like what would make your situation with the paperwork and all these other things? How would that make you more committed than me? And me going home every day and focusing my energy and my resources and my love on this woman every night, day in and day out. How would your situation of commitment be any more committed than I am?
Okay, that's a great question. So
Because I'm sorry.
Go
Not
ahead, Kitty Bar. Go ahead. Go ahead.
not my question. Go ahead.
Yeah,
All right.
go ahead.
Your question.
All right. So let me ask you. So let me answer your question first, right? So when I'm saying commitment, my commitment I can't change it if I'm married. Like tomorrow, I cannot not be committed financially to my wife. It's certain things in place that I can be held accountable for. Hey, Trigger Mike, little Mike. I'm calling little Mike. Hey, little Mike. It's certain things from a commitment level that I can't do in a marriage, right? The law is going to hold me accountable for, right?
No, I would argue that it's not. Not to interrupt you, but it's not because tomorrow. Listen, tomorrow. The first was a couple days ago, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're married, let's just say you legally married. Let's say I'm legally married, right? And the other day, when it's time to pay the rent, I just said, you know what? I'm not paying the rent. I met Sarah, and I'm going to be hanging out in Puerto Rico for the next 6 months. What the hell is the law going to do to me and when?
That's a lot. The laws. Listen, so if you the reason that we have certain laws in place is because of the people was abandoning they was
right. But when is that going to take action? The whole time while I'm in Puerto Rico for the next however many months it takes to build this case, my lady or my wife is going to be as unmarried as anybody else is because I ain't going to be there. I ain't going to be paying no bills. We're not going to be intimate, and she ain't going to have my phone number.
King
So
Spark. Ain't nobody getting arrested for abandoning a marriage.
That's what I'm saying. The law ain't
No.
holding that together. Maybe down the road you can file a case and then y'all could go to court and battle for it. But like I said, you only have today. Listen, today, tomorrow is not even promised to you. So all you have is what you do today. And if you wake up tomorrow and do the same thing tomorrow, that's all that matters.
Let me go down to what he's saying first. So the difference between, I get what you're saying, in the future, they can hold you accountable for that marriage. But guess what? In a long-term relationship, she can never hold you accountable for you going to Puerto Rico and doing those different things. She can never, listen, she
gonna hurt the same. It's gonna hurt the same.
No,
it's
no,
gonna
it's
hurt
not
the
about,
same.
It's not about.
Now, I'm just saying it's gonna hurt the same.
The difference
when
is
she wakes up tomorrow and I'm in Puerto Rico, the fact that she can
not
take
about-
me to
it's
court
not about
is not.
her.
Listen, it's not gonna give her no solace or no type of comfort. The fact that she could take me to court and get some money in a year and a half when they bring the case together. That shit ain't gonna make no damn difference to her.
No, it is.
Go ahead, security boss. You have something to say? Go ahead. And Sugar, you have something to say after that? Yeah, go ahead, security and Sugar Button. Sugar.
I was only going to speak to the woman's side of that commitment question, because just like a woman would and expect her husband to be committed in a marriage relationship, that man also has an expectation for his woman to be submissive in a marriage relationship. We didn't give an exact definition of commitment, but I'm going to give you the exact definition for submission. Submission is me giving my will completely as a woman over to my husband. And my expectation of my husband is to give me commitment, meaning it's about me. So that's what's the difference. You expect me as your wife to give everything over to you, submit totally to you, my will. So you darn right you're gonna marry me. Otherwise,
I'm saying the piece. But I'm saying
get it.
I'm saying the piece of paper though ain't gonna hold it together.
No, the
That's
piece
what
of
I'm
paper
saying.
is just
the
for
piece of paper. It cannot hold it together.
No,
But
the
Keith,
piece of
are you
paper only makes it legal. Only makes it legal where you're living. But so guess what though? That's the representation of it. If I can't get your total commitment, then you may have an issue getting total submission.
And
That's
I
giving
agree with
over
you.
your entitled. And I'm gonna tell you something else. In the commitment, you're not gonna go over to Tijuana or wherever you just went, Tampa, in the
Puerto
moment
Rico.
like that. You're not gonna do that. Your commitment is not gonna allow you to do that, because there is conviction and consequences for things like that. Because guess what? That woman just gave her all to you. You're responsible for my all.
And
But security
SB,
boss
that's
said-
just
I got
as
SB. I got
that's
a
just as
buddy in Sao Paulo,
Wait a second,
Brazil
guys.
right now.
Listen, hold on. That's just
I got a
as
buddy in Sao
that's
Paulo,
just
Brazil
as
right now,
important as
SB,
my word.
that
It's
abandoned his
just as
marriage.
important.
I can't. I'm sorry, y'all.
Well, I'm saying that's just as important as my word. If I look at you in the face and say I'm gonna pick you up at 2 p.m. tomorrow, it ain't got nobody else got to hold me to that.
Oh no,
I'm
yes,
a man of my.
one more
Hold on.
person.
I'm a man of my word.
Continue. King Spark.
One more entity's got to hold you. Only one more entity that holds you to that, and that's God.
Okay,
You gotta,
so
you
so
gotta be
SB,
willing to
what's
confess
holding
all of
the
that
woman
at
then?
somebody's altar.
SB, then what entity is holding the women? Because the women are filing for divorce, and what's holding them accountable?
Trey, let me say this first of all. First and foremost, I believe in prenup. Hold on, I believe in prenups. Y'all already know that. I say it all the time. No, I'm just wanting to make sure.
Stop with the prenup talk, because
No,
the
I
issue
just
with the,
want to make
the
sure
issue with the
everybody
prenup is
understands.
nobody knows how it works. People keep talking about prenups and they don't understand prenups. Do you
I believe in
understand
them.
that a woman can contest a prenup, and that if she contests it, you are officially in a civil battle? You are in a courtroom now. So
That's
we
what
keep
divorce
talking about
is.
prenups as if prenups are a catch-all or fix-all. They
No,
don't
that's what
work.
divorce is. That's what divorce is. It's a death. Somebody's losing something. One might lose more than the other. That is what divorce is. That's why you make it work. That's why you commit totally. That's why you submit totally.
Well, why doesn't the
Because
government?
everybody's
Why
putting
doesn't the government
100% in
change
it.
it then?
I'm gonna tell
Then
you
why
something
doesn't
else
the
I believe
government change
in.
it?
I
Why is
believe
there
in
no
one part.
consequence for people who decide that they don't want to be married anymore? If you make a decision, you say, I don't want to be married anymore, where's the consequence?
It's a death.
No,
Trust
ma'am.
me.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Let's stop with the biblical. Let's talk about real life.
Stop with biblical. It's real.
Let's talk. If
My
I
marriage
get
was real in
married,
the beginning,
if I
Trey.
get married and I'm married for 10 years, and this woman decides she doesn't want to be married to me anymore, what's the consequence?
Oh, it's a big
Trey,
consequence.
What's the
listen,
consequence?
I don't know
Is
the
she going to
situation.
jail? Is she losing money? Is she losing assets? What's the consequence?
It all depends on what she did. All that may happen. I don't know how this went down. I have no idea. Give me a real scenario. But wait a minute. Hold on, Trey. Give me something real. Let's don't make up something. Give me a real scenario where you know of a marriage that went downhill for 10 years and on the 10th year they got a divorce. And then let's talk about what happened.
I know one that was together. They were together for 8 years.
Okay.
They were together for 8 years. It was a buddy of mine that I was in the military with.
Okay.
And they started having problems. Nobody cheated. Nobody did anything. It's just for whatever reason. I don't know if they lost their connection or their bond or whatever happened. Maybe they were going through a valley in their marriage or, but for whatever reason, they lost connection. They stopped talking to each other. He was in his man cave. She was upstairs in the room. They weren't clicking the way they normally did.
Right.
She didn't like it. They tried to fix it. They went to therapy. They went to counseling. That didn't work. And she woke up one day and she went and filed for a divorce. We live in a no-fault divorce country. She doesn't need a reason. But my question is that she's deciding to leave this marriage. He isn't. She is. What is the consequence for her? Because she's breaking her covenant. She's breaking all these rules. Not him. She is.
What did she get? Now, what did she get? Let's get the whole story. What did she get from him?
She got half of his retirement. And something else he said, I don't remember, but she got something else out of it.
So you're saying she got to pay for the house, or did he give her a house that was already paid for? So she won the house.
She got the house.
So she must have been
primarily because they have kids. So if there's kids, and typically they keep the house.
Trey's not telling the whole story.
Hold on, he don't know the whole story. He wouldn't know it because
I
She destroyed her home.
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, so let me just say this, Trey. I don't know everything that went on in his marriages, but let me say this. I often hear us say that women leave marriages, and they do. And a lot of times it's all some silly reasons. I'm not happy, what have you, and they don't have the, the sticking power, or they don't want to go work it out. I agree totally with you with that. I don't agree with it, but a true marriage, when you lose it, a true marriage, this person that you spent your 10 years with, that you slept with every night, that you've become one with, all of that, had children with, it is like a death to lose that type person. It's not an easy thing to do.
Can you give me a tangible consequence? I understand what you're saying. Can you give me a tangible consequence?
But you're talking about material things. You're talking about material things like a house or what have you.
Give me something that she lost, that she can look at and point and say, I lost that because I decided to get divorced.
She lost that man. She lost that man.
She divorced him.
She didn't want him.
No, y'all don't
listen. Something. She gained something.
That may not be true. She could have woke up 3 months later and be like, I made the worst decision of my life.
She don't care.
No, they do that. They do that. They wake up and be like, I should have. And guess what? It works both ways. It works. I don't know. I don't know the situation. We have to go to different people and ask them. It works both ways.
Get back on. We're in the endless loop here, and you know what? This Sugar Girl's been waiting to say something,
Sorry,
and then PL hasn't said anything either. So why don't we let some other people say something? JT's on. Y'all shut me down. So why don't we? Everybody else shut up. Sugar Girls, you have something to say?
Yes. There was a lot of points mentioned. So I did want to touch on something that was mentioned about the conflict between religion and spirituality. And I understand why the gentlemen were speaking.
Oh, you went on mute again. You went on mute.
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
I understand why the gentlemen were speaking the way they speak in regards to the legality, the paperwork, religion principles, because the truth is, many people and groups have done things in the name of religion that have caused so many problems in the world. And so many people are trying to search for that truth, that relationship, that spirituality individually. That does not negate the fact that God has still laid out his way of life. That does not negate the fact that there still is one way to be approved by God. It's just a matter of, as individuals, what is our life experience? What have we done to get there? And what are we doing? God knows us personally. He knows us individually. And as mentioned before, we can't determine another person's personal relationship with God because we're just not readers of the heart. And so that's up to Jesus to do. But I applaud anyone who is, questioning and asking questions and searching, doing your own research, not just believing what someone else tells you, so that you can have that contentment within yourself before God, because ultimately he is the final judge. No matter how we feel about the government, I'm neutral when it comes to political things. My allegiance is to God's kingdom. No matter how we look at the government and what they are not doing, how we should or should not submit to what they ask us, God is the ultimate judge. And so ultimately, he's going to render an account to anyone who is disrespectful to the laws. He's going to render an account to anyone who doesn't do what they're supposed to do, if they know. He's a loving God as well. So if we don't know and we don't understand, he's a loving and understanding God as well. So I did want to put that context out there for anyone listening to understand that everyone has their own walk of life and they're trying to figure it out for themselves.
So security boss, the only thing I was saying before I leave is that the reason that that young man got the house because he was married. That the military allotted him a BAH because he was married. Because if he was single, he would have had to go stand in the barracks with everybody else. But since he was married, they gave him an allotment to pay for that house. So we got to talk about the benefit of what he got for the marriage when we start talking about, as I agree with you, the divorce of the death of what he lost after losing that marriage. And that's the point that I was saying. Is yes, you can say that that was his asset, but the military only paid for it because he was married.
I said he was a military buddy. I didn't say he was in the military when this happened.
So you said that he was. No, so you said that he wasn't in the military.
A buddy of mine that was in the military.
So he's not in the military. You said
So
buddy
anyway,
of mine that's in the military.
He's not, you do know you can separate. You know you can separate from the military.
So
You don't
listen,
have to
Trey, let me
retire,
say this
sir.
really quick. Let me say
I
this
did
really
8
quick.
years. I didn't stay in forever.
Trey,
You can
listen,
leave.
we
You
don't
do know
know.
that.
We don't know the total situation of why women and men get divorced. We won't know unless we're right in that situation. It's a bad deal either way, but we make bad decisions. Women and men make bad decisions. A woman can divorce a man and 3 months later realize she made the biggest mistake of her life. Vice versa. It happens all the time. You hear women, and not only, I've said this before, men and women divorce, and then 6 months to a year later, they act like they still married. You know, he's still doing everything
asking,
for her and what have
Can
you.
you give me what is tangible that a woman loses? I get all the intangibles that you
down
just
that whole
what is it
path
that is
again,
what is it
can
that
we
is
get some other people
perceptible
out there?
by what is perceptible that she can touch, actually lose, that she will never get back because she filed for divorce?
She could actually lose the house also. Because see, I don't get this. This is mine, this is yours, this is mine, and this is yours. I get that I'm one pot and everything should go in one pot. And I think that's the way it should be done. I don't know how other people's houses function, but that's the way to do it. Because see, if we do it that way, the man won't have to worry about this woman not being an asset or not putting 100% in and him losing everything because of the marriage not working. So I just don't, I don't get see, everybody don't know how to do marriage. Everybody don't know how to do relationships. So when you say something's tangible, a house is nothing. A house is nothing. It's nothing.
It's not done that way. I mean, we have so many.
What's not done that way? Arpain, say it again.
Listen, it's not done that way.
What's not done that way?
In divorce, we have a whole bunch of, figuratively speaking, dead bodies of men getting taken to the cleaners when women leave them. I mean, let's be real. I know the way you want it to be, but the way it is in a lot of cases is a bad deal for men.
I can agree. Listen, if that's the outcome, if a man is being taken if that is the outcome in divorce situation, that is a very bad deal. I agree with you. But I don't know of a divorce that I followed from the beginning to the end where a woman cleaned a man out. I'm not saying it won't happen. It can very well happen.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I'm gonna say this and let you go. When you talked about the difference between commitment and submission, that thing, I thought that was gold. I think that was gold. It's one of the best explanations on submission and commitment between a man and a woman. I thought I'm gonna steal that.
Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead.
But the point I wanted to make was that we're way off course for what this is, but we have a couple of people who haven't said anything. They've been up for a while. DL didn't get a chance to say something. I just want to have some other people be able to say. So go ahead, DL. What you got on the subject or anything else now? Because we're like free for all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell we were talking about for like a hot minute, to be honest.
Dion winning. Dion won on Saturday.
You feel me? Dion won. They look
Dion
cool.
won on Saturday.
You know what I mean? But to be honest, it's all about. It goes back to communication. Who you sleep with. Being like my girl and I have been together for like 5-6 years. You know, I'm not gonna say I was the best dude, but we try to work it out, and it's been hard. But we both made a deal with each other, saying we made the old deal of we're not going to go to bed angry at each other. You know what I mean? So that's what we said. So if I was mad at her for something, or she's mad at me, I stay in one room, she stay in another, and eventually we come back together and talk. Even my parents, I believe, this year or next year have been married for almost 40 years. So, and there's been multiple times, like my parents argued, divorce got thrown in the air, but even my dad, he said, no matter what happened, I made a commitment before God, and that for him was more important than anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, there is a lot of people who, everybody in the world can be a mom, a lot of people in the world can be a dad, a lot of people can be a husband and wife, but it doesn't mean it's meant for it to happen. You know what I mean? If you ain't got the mentality for it, or if you're not mature for it, then it's always gonna go downhill. That's just what it is. And unfortunately, what I personally don't like is what the media and everything is teaching women and girls, how easy it is to leave and to get something out of it, instead of like, let's try to build something together. As many times we talk back and forth about building, nobody wants to build, they just want to receive. So now we're teaching younger girls and older women, say, hey, you can leave your dude and get like this prize at the end, and then go to the next dude and do it again. Instead of like, hey, if you don't have it all together, that's cool, but if he's not putting hands on you, doing nothing crazy about it, if he's actually generally working his ass off to build up commitment with you and the kids and everything, that gets overlooked because you don't make the money, or if you don't take the places, like, but if he's there to sleep next to you, it's arguing with you, he put hands on you, that gets overlooked. So that's just something I personally don't agree with, what they teach women. And they teach it and they belittling men of like, because you're not spending all your money or you're doing all these crazy things, that you obviously don't love her. That's not true. You can, as long as you coming home working your ass off and you showing how much you love your girl or your kids, that's showing that's a real man there. My dad, every time I'd be worth by my life, me and my brother, my dad out of nowhere would be like, hey, I'm proud of you guys. And that I'll remember that since I was a kid. I'm like 31, that still plays in my mind because I really needed to hear that so many times. I feel like I was in the worst spot ever.
Hey, DL, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Let me. You don't have to answer this. Why aren't you married to your husband?
I plan on it actually. I just had it. Her mom is not in the United States. She lives in Sweden. So we plan on going there eventually, and I want to talk to her about how to marry her daughter.
I got you. Okay.
That's just my 2 cents. Everybody was going left and right, and I said Dion, and I was like, cool.
If you finish it, JT, I know you didn't say anything. You got something to say?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I agree with SBU. Marriage can be a great thing, but at the same time, I can't disagree with Trey King Sparks. I don't think that nobody should be demonized for their life choices. I don't think that them choosing to opt out of marriage and opt into a long-term commitmentship makes their relationship any less than somebody who's married. You see a lot of people today who are married and not happy at all, and they can be in a long-term commitment and way happier than a lot of people that are married. And I think people would have a change of opinion if the laws were balanced more equally. I feel like a lot of men will opt into marriage and be fine with marriage if it wasn't so unequally balanced and there wasn't a reward for a woman being able to leave just because she felt like it. A lot of men have a lot of things to lose when it comes to these types of situations, and people just aren't always on the same pathway that marriage is sending people along, and I don't think that makes them less of a couple or less of what you would consider a marriage just because the state is involved or just because a piece of paper is signed. Because we see people sign that piece of paper and then they go against everything they stood before God on the same day of the marriage, right before the marriage. It is plenty of times where that hasn't worked out. And I understand it because I'm a Christian, and I understand when you say that in part of the Bible is to follow the law of the land, but it's 2023, and a lot of these laws they're making is a contradiction of what God has created itself.
But those are the ones you shouldn't follow.
Well, see, that's where it gets
You
confusing.
can't contradict. That's the problem.
Yeah, and so I mean, I believe in marriage, but I can't down anybody or say that they're wrong for choosing to opt out or choosing to go another way about it. If they're being loyal and they're sticking to their word as a man and they have that agreement with their woman, I don't think that makes them any less than a married couple or any less than a fiance or anything. I think their relationship is just as valuable, and I think in some circumstances is even more valuable because we see a lot of times that these men are in these marriages and they become miserable and they're stuck in them because they believe in the no divorce and they believe in that they have to stick with this one person and make it work out, and you just can't make something work out if only one person trying to make it work out. So you oftentimes will have two people in a marriage that are miserable that almost they might as well be in a long-term relationship because they not even acting like a married couple. They not even sleeping in the same room. So I agree with you on the marriage aspect. I believe in marriage. I think it can be a beautiful thing when it's done right. But I can't disagree with them too when they say that they choose not to do it.
All right.
I don't think that's wrong.
Are you landing it there?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, okay, Prototype Dad, you just came up. Go ahead. And then after that, Truth Table, you can say. Go ahead, Prototype.
So the question is about marriage? Is that what the question is right
No, you can talk about, if you want to talk about Britgate, you can.
Shout out to SB with her hair popping.
Yeah, I see SB. She's been fluttering with the new faux locks. You know what I'm saying? I see.
Let me say something, Prototype, before you get started. I want to tell Trey, when I say it's not about a house, you can buy another house. If somebody is taking your sanity away or taking away your peace and not cooperative with you, it's sometimes you want to walk away from everything. You don't hold on to and fight about a house. There are so many of them out there, and there's so many ways to buy others. And if you want to fight about it, then that would be what you do. But I'm just telling you, you can make other investments.
That's just an unrealistic comment considering that the average salary is about $50,000. Most people cannot just go out and buy a house.
Listen, so I guess I kind of want to piggyback off of that, right? So the whole notion of, oh, I'm scared to get married because I'm going to lose my stuff, or it's cheaper to keep her, or I'm going to stay miserable, because I think those are values of a weak man. You know what I'm saying? Like a real man going to go out there and get it. I'm not afraid to lose my wife or whatever, because I know I can go out there and get whatever I need to get again and again and again. I could lose it and I can get it again. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it comes down to y'all probably not the men that should have a woman anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in yourself like that, you also should be able to have a wife that you should make her valuable. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if your woman's not valuable to you and you can't make that woman valuable, then that's on you. You don't know how to, manage your assets. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy a pickup truck and then be like, oh, it's a gas guzzler. You better be using it as a tax write-off or something. You got to know how to use your assets, and you got to make your woman an asset. As far as Brickface, I seen the 2 videos that's been out. Like, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate what happened to her. You know what I'm saying? But at what point are we going to start teaching each other how to treat each other properly? You know what I mean? Like, you can't go around. I know we all believe in karma. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go around disrespecting men, smacking men, and then not expect none of this to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she deserved it or whatever, but from the clips we've seen, she knows how to be disrespectful. You know what I mean? So I'm never going to just pass out, like, man, she, you know, I'm not saying you should kick an old lady down the steps, but that don't mean you should. That don't mean there ain't no reason to. You know, you just shouldn't do it. You know, what's that skit from, like, with Chris Rock? You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't do it. Don't mean there's not a reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, we got to start teaching each other how to treat each other right, man, and how to properly say no, I'm not interested, and how to also take rejection appropriately, man. So.
Okay, can I jump in there now?
Yep, man.
All right. Good conversation so far, panel. There's a lot of things I heard that conflate with each other, and I think that's what our community does ever so, impeccably. Marriage is an institution, and it is a God institution. And a lot of times I don't think people understand because they pick and choose what they want to pull out the word. God protects marriage. That's what the whole alignment of it is. If you do not want to operate under God's order, you're not obligated to get married. It doesn't say that you have to in the word. It's biblical. But God also honors where two touch and agree, let everything be established, which is void of marriage, which people seem to forget. Marriage in this country, in most countries, is a business entity. That's what it is. It makes it easy to pass assets. It makes it easy to acquire assets and transfer things. That's really what it is at its basis. We couple the romantic aspect. That's where the problem starts to align, because you cannot govern a marriage through just judicial practice. You have to have an investment of, maturity, communication, so on and so forth. What I do resent what the brother before me said is that's where we conflict each other. We have certain men who believe that you can measure a man's manhood based on his ability to endure a judicial system that is already baked in to disenfranchise a certain group of people, and then say, well, you're just not the man that deserved a woman. I resent that. I think you should be ashamed of yourself for even saying anything like that, because you have that much probably of a sample size of what it is statistically. I would argue that you should go ahead and probably put yourself in a position to start studying the judicial structure of child support, divorce, and how it really works. Because just like they throw our people in jail overwhelmingly, and we are a 14%, number of the population, it's a system design. What they do understand is how we work, how we move. And I don't think our community does a good job of understanding that. Divorce is a money-making machine. The lawyers are in on it, the judges are in on it. So I think that because things have changed, and let me backtrack real quick. Marriage used to be through a clan. Marriage was a family thing. It wasn't just two individuals. People used to participate in making sure that this family, not just the male and the female, the entire family was going to make a good decision for the family to move forward. It was a survival tactic. It was a asset tactic. It was so many things. What has happened is that our community has threw God to the left and started doing things individually. And now we have what we have now. People still having sex, breeding kids out of wedlock, and then now trying to scramble to make things right that were never designed to be right. There is a structure, there's a way to do things in order, and we're not doing those things in order. But I don't understand how we have certain men, because this again is the separation. Trey said some good things, Arpain said some good things, King Spark said some good things, Lady Boss said some good things. People have their right to make their choice. We're adults. If you feel like matrimony is the best way to go about it, go about it. And those who want to do that, leave them be. But the people who are in matrimony, I feel sometimes put a much more emphasis on those who don't want to get married, but don't give a reason or an alternative to what else they should be looking to do. And don't advertise marriage in a way that this is why marriage looks better. This is why you should. All they say is just get married, and then it stays there. But I don't want to dominate this conversation. That's what I wanted to add to it. I digress. My mic is
Let me ask you before you go, you have anything on Brickgate?
I'm surprised that Island, I'm gonna call her out. I'm surprised that Island Girl didn't jump up, not Island Girl Q, but the other one, Fantasy Island Girl. Yeah, she came for me yesterday on Instagram when I commented on the feed. But my only take on that is that we don't know the side of the man. All we seen was the drama. All we seen was the aftermath. We don't know how it got there. And that's what I commented. And she said, you can't condone violence against this woman, and you men should be ashamed of yourself. I would argue what occurred, because I think Trey said it, there's cause and effect. This woman got on camera to advertise what happened, but she never got on camera to at the start of the debacle, the entry point. I'm forced to believe that I don't believe more men is walking around just grabbing bricks for one to assert himself in a violent way. That's not even logical. Like, that just makes no sense. We got better things to do with our time. So it's a shame what happened to her. I'm glad she's alive and okay, but I don't feel sorry because I don't know what she did to warrant that action. So
have you guys seen the gentleman who was there?
I said he was there.
Yeah,
and he saw what precipitated the whole thing. Now, if you believe him, he said he was there, and people are coming after him. So he said that she taunted the guy because she has a thing of slapping men, white men, on her videos, right? And so she taunted this guy. So says this witness, right? If you could believe him. And the guy, and he wasn't going to hit him, but she just got fired to hit me. And I don't know if that's true either, wanted to get hit with a brick. But I have an issue. We could tell that she wanted a whole lot to go viral. I just don't think she thought it was going to happen this way. Let's put it that way. She wanted to go viral, but she got it in a way that she wasn't anticipating.
There's also some other videos of her. She also did for you guys who don't know, she's a lesbian feminist. She also did a video where she said very clearly that black men don't protect women and that women are the protectors. That's what she said. It's in a video. So I find it so ironic that she's looking for protection from men when she's very clearly said that the women are the protectors. Came out of her own mouth.
I wanted to follow up what you said on that because you're right.
Trey, you got that video?
It's
Give me
online.
a second. I'll look it up for you.
But she said that, and she was saying that women are the providers and protectors for everybody, and she was like, black men are only provide and protect for their property and what belongs to them. And this is an example of you create your own reality because she went out there, and if a woman is so much of a provider and protector for you, why are you mad that the men didn't step in? You created your own reality, and so everything that you said is what happened to you. Now you're looking for a man to protect you, and you're wondering why the men haven't done anything. All the other videos are showing that she's slapping other people, she's down talking on men, and now you need a man to back you up.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Hey, Justo, what's going on, Scam?
What's good? What's going on?
Hey, Scam.
You got something?
I haven't seen, I'm trying to find out what happened with this brick thing. Because every time I click to look, it's none of these dumb red pill, we hate women, we hate the men's reactions, and I don't even want to hear them. Because I already know what they're going to say. The Talking Point Mafia then took over. I just want to know what really happened. I'm just saying. Right? The whole protection and I don't know. If you were there and you decide to protect a woman and do whatever, cool. If you recorded it, if you called the police, cool. But does everything have to go down to these talking points, like to real life? Is it really got to get that serious? Like, if you really walk outside your house and see a domestic situation, do you have to pull out a red pill? I wonder if she is traditional and she cooked a sandwich for her man, gave conditional femininity. We know 36.7% of divorces.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Sure.
I hear the stick that you have, but you're a man. Do you think that is a calculation for whether the woman is righteous or not? When you see something and you don't know all the story, isn't it a calculation for the man to jump in these days just to break things up, especially if a guy's being vicious? Or you don't know.
People aren't calculations; they're people. One dude might jump in, one dude might not.
You make a calculation on whether you're going to butt in or not, right? You make a mental calculation.
You can make a partial calculation, a partial reaction. Like 2015, one day I heard some screaming. I'm watching Fresh Prince. got no shirt on. I hear something sounded like somebody attacking a kid. I go grab my 380. I'm walking out with no shirt on, see what's going on, because I thought it was a kid. Turns out it was a man and a woman. I'm looking. Hey, y'all good? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Maybe he can notice. I was a good 30 pounds bigger and uglier at the time. Big swole dude with no shirt on and something hanging out of his jersey. Something hanging out of his jersey shorts. Yeah, it's 380. He's blah, 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 blah. I don't see no marks on her face. Like, you good? Oh, okay. If I hear anything, I'm gonna call the police. I ain't jumping in and getting all in their business. I didn't see swole eye and all that. I just made my decision, but I came out because I thought I was a kid. Then 20 minutes later,
I got a question for
her
you.
brother shows up and he takes care of it. Turns out it was something. So he straightened the dude's melon out. But you just make a decision. If you want to fight and jump and stab, go for it. If you don't. Can't tell people what to do with people, even if it's their own family. They're supposed to protect their family and girlfriends. But if they don't, then that's their problem. But there's no standard we got to hold all men to, and all women must. These people do what they want to do. Let's be real.
That is true.
Oh, somebody was going to ask
I
me
agree with
something.
you.
Somebody else had a
Yeah,
question?
I had a question. So if you were there when that situation happened and the dude threw the brick at her, how would you react? Because that's what a lot of people were contemplating. Some men said that they would have intervened. I heard most men said that they wouldn't do anything because they don't know how crazy he is. What would be your reaction into that situation?
More than likely, one, it depends on what I saw. If I see her already laying on the ground, did I see the whole interaction take place? Where she says, "Leave me alone, don't steal my purse." Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if she stabbed him. So I could be getting into something, and then there's a whole mob of dudes with bricks up the alley, and now I get hit. I mean, you react to what you react to, and you make your own decision.
Well, I think they.
Hey,
I
quick
think
question.
They said
A woman
Cookie Scott don't want to die.
that got hit with a brick in the face, would she need a GoFundMe?
Huh?
With a woman that got hit in the face with a brick, would she need a GoFundMe?
Possibly.
Does she need facial reconstruction?
Yes, possibly. Need? I don't know. I don't know what her financial situation is. I don't know what her medical insurance.
She got 30
We don't
grand
know.
on account so far.
Let me be real. If I got hit in the face with a brick, even if I was trying to steal somebody's wallet, if I can run a GoFundMe and get 50 grand, matter of fact, hold on. GoFundMe, you said. Damn likely won't. Hey, let's be real.
Throwing a brick is something that happens extremely fast. So I saw the video where she was asking the men why they didn't intervene or anything. I mean, she was already hit with the brick before anybody even realized what was going on. So I don't know if she expected the men to jump in front of it or.
Yeah, I'm just saying we can't.
I gotta put it this way.
Say what they gotta do.
I gotta put it this way. There is no way that girl, if she was minding her business, right, or if she's at right, and not at wrong, there is no way 4 or 5 guys will not intervene on her behalf. They will take that guy down. But those guys have seen what we haven't seen. They saw what we haven't seen. And they made that judgment that she was a troublemaker. And they're not going to bail her out.
Hey,
You see what I'm
Ekene,
saying?
you're married or got females in the family?
I have females in the family, but if my sister go looking for trouble, I'm not
hear
going
me
to.
out. No, hear me out. Would you send them at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the
Hell
hood
no.
somewhere to go get up bread?
But guess what?
No. If they were just minding their business, nothing bad could happen. So why don't you send them
Nothing
out
bad.
in the morning to the hood?
I'm never going to let my sister. Just take this. I said this yesterday in this show. This is the part 2. Yesterday, this is what I said in this show. Before this is the part 2. I said that a woman had no business being outside after dark. I said it yesterday. A woman has no business being outside after dark. Once it's dark, once the sun sets, sit your ass at home. My wife doesn't go out after dark. I don't even let her go to Walmart after that. Because these guys are crazy over there. Somebody might overtake her, somebody might cut her off the street, and she might react, and guess what? She gets shot. I don't even let my wife take her. As SB, she see me many times driving at night, and then she'll be like, "Where are you driving to?" I'm like, "I'm taking my wife to work." Once it's dark, I'm taking my wife to work. She's not gonna drive to work. I
But
go bring her back.
I also heard you on Security Boss's panel.
And I'm taking her to work in the next 4 hours.
Well, I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna let it pass.
Scam, you got my ears all ready for it. What was you getting ready to say?
You know what I was gonna say.
No, I don't. I do?
You know what I was gonna say.
How would I? Okay.
I'll let it
Hey,
pass.
Security Boss, do you have anything to say on this brick game?
Hold on, real quick, SB, before you go. Is there any truth to the fact that this is the second attack that she claimed and the first one was false?
I didn't hear
Anybody
that.
know anything about that? I'm also getting that sort of information now that this
I
is the
personally
second
don't
time
know
she's
this.
been attacked, and the first one proved that it was false. She lied about it.
Well, I didn't hear anything about that, but I heard that she dared him, like, "I dare you hit me" and stuff. Now, I don't condone the man hitting her with a brick at all, but from the way everybody was explaining that she handled the situation, it's certain stuff that a woman can do that'll prevent all of this from happening. And it seems like with you antagonizing and you trying to get him to hurt you, you got what you were asking for. You didn't expect him to go that far, but you can't judge somebody that you don't know. People are here crazy. Somebody could have a mental problem. It's a lot of preventables that could have been set in place to where she would have never had to deal with any of this. And I know a
But
lot
do
of
we know
women
what
would
happened
never
now?
put themselves in these situations. Well, they said she tried to. They said he tried to get her phone number, and she didn't give him the phone number. And from that point, she said that he hit her with a brick. Other people are saying some more happened than that, and that's what I believe. It more than that happened. He hit her with
Okay,
a
so
brick.
if we
But the
don't know
story
what the
is
more
he hit her
is,
with a brick because
how you come up with that conclusion about what she did if you don't know what
If there was
she
a
did?
guy who came up and said he saw it. Now, whether you believe him or not is another story.
So I'm saying, what is it based on? What was said? I don't know the story. I just know she got hit with a brick.
Yeah, well,
Man, it
the
was a
story
man.
is that she taunted the guy who hit her with the brick. And the guy, there were some witnesses who said they saw her taunting the guy because her stick is going around slapping men. Now, whether those were skits or not, she was showing how superior she is to men. And she had like a couple of skits of her slapping a couple of men. And so this might have been a third one that went awry, you know? And this guy wasn't playing. Now, again, I don't condone him hitting her with a brick, you know? So and I don't know.
No, I don't condone her slapping a man at the first place.
Well, yeah, but this just talk about what happened to her, right? So
she
under
could have
no
prevented the
circumstances-
situation. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, she could
If
have.
that's what happened, she shouldn't have slapped him. That's correct.
Anyway,
But
so
if
this
that
is
also
security
happened,
boss.
he shouldn't have hit her with a brick. That's extreme.
That's right. Well, she shouldn't have got hit with a brick. Hey, security boss, you got something on this one? And then you should, girls, if you have anything on it, or unless you said something like that.
I did say something, but I'm agreeing with you. I saw a couple of videos where she was pretending to, or slapped another young man, and did a little twerk afterwards, which was inappropriate. But if seems like this one right here, like you said, went awry. But I actually think she did something, because a brick is that's tied to some anger. Seems like that doesn't seem like just a joke, a prank gone wrong. That seems to be tied to some type of anger. But we're gonna have to see, because I hope that it was a self-defense situation, because if not, this is not gonna be good for that young man. They're gonna find him, and they're gonna come down really, really hard. So I hope she did hit him first, or did something to prompt this.
No, the red pill mafia is going to fund his legal defense. They hate women that much.
I doubt it. Yeah, we talk about men here. We
Oh,
ain't
yeah?
doing no more.
Watch.
Go ahead, Sugar Girl.
All right, y'all, we got to start to bring it to a close
Did y'all-
because
y'all
Chaotic
see
got
she
to go
had the-
live.
Oh, okay. All right, so all right, JR. Right.
Final
Go ahead.
thoughts, and we just get booted.
All right, how everybody doing? I appreciate y'all.
What's good, JR? Final
Appreciate
thoughts,
y'all.
and we
We
get
have
tossed.
Trigger Mike. Chaotic Show is next. He's going to be talking about a Type 1 civilization. So that'll be coming up at 4 o'clock Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. So y'all make sure y'all tap into that.
Hey, man, thanks for letting us hold up, your show. Trigger
Oh
Mike
yeah,
show.
yeah. I mean, Trigger Mike behind the scenes, he just he had to do something with the kids. So I just wanted I was having a good conversation, so we wanted to make sure we kept it going.
Hey, JR, you still ready for our trip to Nigeria, JR? You still ready?
Oh yeah. I'm ready, man. I got my bags packed right here, right now.
That's right. Let's make it happen, my brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, y'all take it easy, man. Catch Trigger Mike King talk tonight. We're gonna be talking about will she cheat? Should you be concerned about if your wife is gonna cheat? So we'll talk about that tonight. Y'all tap in.
Thank you. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Dust.